Motion passes. Just so everybody knows, Mrs. Fick may. So hopefully she'll be able to join us and we can congratulate her. All right, with that, I'd ask you to join us in the pledge to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. Next on our agenda, we have the opportunity for public comment that's specific to our agenda. If you need an agenda, they're over there on the side table. Does anybody want to address the board? Please step forward to the podium, state your name, and keep your comments to 3 minutes or less. And if not, there'll be another opportunity towards the end of the meeting. Not seeing anyone? All right. Next, we have before us a consent agenda. I would entertain a motion for approval. Thank you. Do I have support? Thank you, Kim. Any comments or questions? Hearing none. Nikki, can you do roll call, please? I'll call on you quite a bit this evening, so thank you.
Carrie Germain?
Yes.
Alyssa Bouchard?
Yes.
Autumn Henry?
No.
Chuck Milkey?
Yes.
Kim Winter?
Yes.
And Ken Engel?
All right. Thank you, Nikki. Motion passes. Next, we have the interim superintendent report. I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Kitchen.
Hello, everyone. So sad that we're doing these so close together, but we did lose someone in our office who was very special to us, a very good person. She was in our payroll department. It was very much a surprise. It's Miss Julie McDonald. And so a sad loss for us, but at this time I would ask that we have a moment of silence for her. Thank you very much. I was telling our staff this morning that if I've learned one thing from this, it's hug and love your loved ones because you're not promised tomorrow. And Julie will be very much missed, and our prayers and thoughts are with her family at this time. I do have a kind of a lengthy report for you, some good things, but first piece, MASB Executive Search Services. Tonight you have on the agenda where you're going to be talking about the superintendent search process. And so I have some material on that. This is not all inclusive. This is 2 organizations. There are more, and we'll be able to get you more information. So I'll pass these down this way. Then here's one from MASB, some similar information. This just provides some of the services that they can do to lead you through this process, including, we have a board workshop that'll be coming up this fall. And I was going to get your feedback on whether you would like to do something like DISC, which is Work of Leaders, which is a leadership assessment that helps pull us together as a team. Or maybe we use that time to bring in one of these organizations to talk about the process. Either one of these I think would be a good choice for us where we are. So we can talk more about that as you get into a conversation about the superintendent search. Also, just a reminder that MASB's 2025 Annual Leadership Conference is at Grand Traverse. This year, if you're interested in going, I have some information for you here that you can take, and just let us know if you'd like. There's only one copy there, but just let me know if you're interested, and I can get you that information. I have spoken recently to the ISD regarding some of the concerns that have come up about attendance. They are interested and willing to come and share with us at an upcoming board meeting about the process that they use and also the results that they've gotten from that. So I think as we're making a decision, we've identified chronic absenteeism as an area of concern. I think as we're making a decision about the resources that we want to use going forward to ensure that our students are on school every day on time, that we listen to the resources they provide to help us make our decision. We have our first game of football. It's hard to believe that it's right around the corner. Band has finished their camp. We have our first game August 28th versus Yale. The band's new show this year is called Live from your parents' basement, so it'll be pretty exciting. They have their new band uniforms, by the way. We had an opportunity to go see them. They are extraordinary, and so what I'm hoping to do is maybe at an upcoming meeting, I'd like to do it at the meeting at the end of this month, is if we could recess and go out and hear them play a song in their new band uniform. I think they'd be excited to share that with us, so, but they look great. The 35M, Michelle Paul, when she did a presentation, she talked about how we could get the Being a Reader program through a grant. Well, the great news from 35M is we actually received $340,129 for that grant. That's $100,000 more than what we needed to purchase that program. And so Michelle is going to be working diligently to apply that $100,000 to help support our students in reading. So it was really a great news. Food and nutrition. I'd like to share something so I'd like to read this to you. A shout out to our food and nutrition department. They did a wonderful work this summer. Together they handed out an incredible 78,970 meals. That's 22,070 more than last summer. Families also enjoyed fresh veggies, including delicious Michigan-grown sweet corn. This was no small feat, especially during a summer that reached 105 degrees. So a huge shout out to our amazing crew, John Latavis, Susie Waddell, Jasmine Wallace, Christina Fath, Valerie Juritich, Brett Jacobs, Jamie Cross, Janisa Fedoroff, Jill Harburn, Tiffany Reeves, Amanda Stevens, Kathy Solak, and thanks to our food service director, Tony Delgado, for all the work behind the scenes. We're also grateful to Mancino's, Cottage Inn, and Red Robin for generously donating food to keep the hardworking staff fueled. So this is great news, wonderful work. We're very proud of our food and nutrition program and our employees through there. So that is it for my report.
Can we give them a round of applause? It's amazing work and so important to our entire community. So thank you for sharing that, Jim. Okay, any questions for Jim before we move on?
Yeah, I have a few, Carrie.
Go ahead.
One is the chronic absenteeism, Jim. That was at how much percent? 28%? I don't want to put you to a number, but how much was it?
It was as high at one time as almost 40%, and it has dropped, but it's still high. So this is why we currently have an attendance task force in place to address it. And I do believe that once we hear what the ISD can do for us, that it will help power that even more.
Well, haven't we already been in contract with them? So they've been given the opportunity in my eyes, but that's just me.
I'd like to, Ken, you were the one that brought it up a few meetings ago. Can you comment on it real quick for me to help me refresh that? Because I thought they weren't doing a lot for us. But I'm not saying they didn't. I think that was, I want to put words in your mouth. Some comment about that.
Close enough.
Okay, all right.
I don't think what they've organized is done well throughout the county.
Okay.
What I seen, it was what little bit it took place over at Linden. And there's little follow-up. I don't think they have the staff to, well, how many kids do we have here? If you take 40% of 3,200, you're talking, you're addressing 1,200, 1,400 kids?
800, but yeah, close enough.
Yeah, so now throw Grand Blanc at 25, or excuse me, not 25, about 2,500 kids just at the high school. They've got about 8,000, 9,000 kids in their district. So if they have something close, it's a lot of kids. Davison is equally almost as big. So I guess my issue with it is either don't rely on them, or we're gonna continue to do what we're doing. It may be something that we have to do ourselves.
In GISD, do you plan, I don't think you did say that, but can we have them at least come here to give them a fair shot? So the board can ask them questions to see if we should continue down that avenue or start our own avenue. I think that would be better for the board, and I don't know if you'd plan that, Jim, but I would suggest that we do that in the near future. I mean,
Yeah,
we can
I would
hold
like
off
to
on
hear-
it.
yeah, I would like
Just to
to
give
hear
him, just to
from
give him a
our staff,
chance.
too, who
I trust Ken,
handles it.
he was a school resource officer, but I would like to also hear from them.
Yeah.
And,
Jim, I'm sorry to cut you off real quick. Didn't an event come through in our email today regarding
That's what I was gonna
absenteeism?
say.
Yeah.
Yeah, it did.
What is that event? Like, what's it all entail?
I wondered if it was just for more, if it was just, was it Cyrene or Mauritius?
I thought it was school-wide.
Yeah, I was wondering if it was school-wide.
Yeah, I was at a training today, so I didn't see anything in the email.
It's,
so I'm not
it's
sure.
called Count Us In, and they've been planning it since March, I believe, and it's at the PAC. And I believe students and their families who've been identified as needing some additional support.
Yeah.
And all of the board are invited to it on September 16th. I don't recall the time, maybe 6 o'clock in the evening. It looks really
There was gonna be
interesting.
dinner,
Yeah.
and I think they said they were gonna identify 5 families and work with them throughout the year.
Which is something,
That's great. And
Yeah.
I'll interrupt. I want to know what they're going to do for Swartz Creek School District and how, if we have 28% absenteeism, 30, we'll say 20, we'll even go on the low side, 25%, which would be 800 kids. What are they going to do for us? And I want to hear them up here in the podium saying why we should stay with them and give them money. And if they can't do it, then we should go out on our own, as Ken suggested last month or the month before. But I'm not saying I'm against it, but I want to know from the horse's mouth.
yes,
Why is our absenteeism so high? And I think that Ms. Michelle Paul here,
yes, she's in the
yeah,
front
Michelle Paul, Miss Paul said that a lot of the students, a lot of that 28%, I don't remember the number you gave me on that one, 18 or 20% were just the people that keep repeating it. So 8% were peripheral, and you got the same 15 or 20%. No, I'm not putting numbers in your mouth. I just recall that from a couple months ago, that they're the same kids doing it over and over, and then we're wasting money, we're hiring extra teachers, we have people in classrooms where kids aren't showing up. So I want to just get to the bottom of it so we can figure it out. I'm not against it or for it, I just want to know how we can solve it and how we save money if we're not going to pay GISD, can we do it our own?
Well,
That's it.
we have a team, you said, right? I would like to hear from some of them to see how,
Yes.
how they, how
Yes.
easy or difficult or what have you it is to work with them. If they're contradicting each other or, you know, working,
Yes.
they gotta be, yeah.
I actually think going both tracks would be good. I think that we have a pretty strong team in place for our task force. I don't think we abandon what we do. I think we are going to attack it with our team, but having every resource we can would help us in this cause. But I agree with
like
you.
I
I think
said,
getting them both here would be a
we
great.
have a
I would like, hear from our
Yeah.
team and then maybe them.
Yes.
And then you said that we have 2 packets here you passed out about companies that do searches for superintendents.
Yes.
Maybe this is better directed to Carrie. Will these, what is going to be the criteria? Is the board going to interview them? I haven't had a parameter on what's going to happen on how we're going to choose a company or a firm to figure this out and if they're coming to a meeting.
So we can talk about that now, Chuck, or if you want to wait until we get a board discussion, it's either way. We've been collecting the information. I've had a conversation with one of the representatives, and I'm in contact with another one, MASB and MLI. And Jim and Sue have provided HYA and, I don't know who. MASB, thank you. That was an easy one. And so it makes sense that we would consider maybe interviewing a couple of these at maybe our August 27th meeting. And from that, selecting
Okay, so, yeah.
someone, because the time frame of choosing someone early next year would require us to have a 12 to 14-week lead time.
All right, so we have enough time. Jim said that if he even retires, it won't be till sometime in June.
Yes.
So maybe we could have a choice, does anybody want 3 or 4 builders, 3 or 4 contractors? Maybe do 3 or 4, and then let the board do their research, whittle it down to 2, maybe. or whatever the number may be, what the board agrees to. And then we could just interview 2 or 3 instead of 4 or 5 companies to save us time. That's my only suggestion on that.
Would you like them at the August 27th meeting?
Well, we only have two companies here. What are the other 2 companies? You said you're gonna have 3 or 4.
They're actually based out of Iowa.
Oh,
Both of the other companies that I know of and that I think you've received information from are from Iowa. The
So
others
these-
are from Michigan.
these are the only 2 from Michigan?
They're the
I'm not
most
sure.
widely used. I
Yeah,
don't know
I'm
if
not
there
sure where
are others.
ILA is from, but I can find that out. They do have local reps.
HYA? HYA? Oh, ILA, okay.
Yeah. I did just some short research on when we had discussion on it a few months ago. And I think there was 3 companies in Michigan, or 4, if I'm not mistaken. I can't recall their names. Was up to you. And then, as Jim said, there's a couple companies that do the Midwest with Neola type things, and they have representatives that are local. So I would just, instead of having 2 companies that are, just give us 3 or 4 and
Okay.
let us whittle it down at the next board meeting. I think that's great.
So having them here is your recommendation?
No. I still want a couple
You want
more
to read,
choices.
gotcha.
Do you guys only want 2 choices? I mean, that's not just me, it's the rest of the board.
Well, I was going to bring in all 3 or 4 if you wanted. I was going to bring them in to interview, but if you just
That
want
would be good.
information about them,
I think that would be good.
You'd rather have all 3 or 4 of them here?
Yeah.
That's fine with me, that's
I
what you
I
guys.
have a question
Yeah, Kim.
on that. Let's say we brought in these 2 companies here. Are some of these companies going to present the same candidates to us, or are they all gonna have different ones?
We're gonna choose one of the companies first.
Oh,
we'll just go
okay,
with
so
one
we won't
company.
be, okay.
It's like we're interviewing a contractor.
So we'll just
We're
have
interviewing
one.
4 of them, yeah, and then we'll
Okay.
figure out which one would be best suited for us for this long-term decision.
and they would post for the position. So you'd most likely get similar candidates regardless of who you go with, because it'd most likely be local. But their processes would be a little different, and their cost would be different.
But it also comes down to that 12 to 14 weeks from the time you identify what the criteria is you're looking for in a superintendent up until the point that you actually make an offer. And because you would likely involve the community, staff, students, whomever the stakeholders are, in collecting feedback from them, from the board, obviously. And there's a period of time where they have to post that, collect the people that are interested, and then there's a series of interviews that would occur. So,
I have a bunch of other questions for Jim, but I think I'll hold them to board comment. And then,
Okay.
We'll be,
I wanna go back to yours on the truancy. I think one of the things we're gonna need to do, and it may not be tonight, just to get the handbook done, we may have to go back during the school year and amend it. But I think the letter process is a flaw. We're sending out letter after letter after letter. If kids aren't coming to school, the only way you're gonna get them into school is get them into court and make a court referee tell mommy and daddy they gotta get here. And so, I think when we come back to that topic, we need to look at what the law states.
Yeah.
Not, and when ISD comes over here, what does the law state?
Yeah, the court requires us to send letters and to have meetings. So everything that's in the handbook is the requirement of the law.
It follows that timeline?
Yes, when we do a file, we have to include all the letters that are sent. This is why they're.
Correct, but that's the law's timeline?
Yes.
Well, no wonder
Yeah.
no wonder the kids don't come to school. Because, I mean, when you're sending out letters every 5 days or every 15 days, the semester, or the marking period's over.
Yeah.
You've already have a teacher give someone an E.
Yeah.
True that. No, we don't know if the parents got the letter either. Okay.
so I know we want to bring this back here, but would this be a good topic for academic achievement?
Yeah.
And could we bring some of the folks in who are actively involved in the planning for the interventions? And,
I would like to hear from them too, and I can't make the academic achievement meeting.
but if they come to academic achievement, then could we ask them to do a follow-up here?
Well, I think we
You
would,
want them to
I
present
think
twice?
we're gonna, Andrea was willing to change the meeting, I think, but she just said she couldn't do it this month. Oh, that's right, policy, yeah, she's on policy, but you
We were trying to keep them together
You were
if
trying to do
possible.
it together, yeah.
I want to go back real quick. What was the deal? I missed an email about the 5 families.
So it's called Count Us In. It's work being done by some of the staff here at Swartz Creek. And they've been working for the last, I don't know how long, months. Right. And they've been looking at ways to bring people together, to encourage them to get their kids to school. And it would involve the families and to provide possibly incentives to get people there and to school, including dinner for the families so that they can come together. Find out why they're not coming to school, what can be done to help them, what are the barriers, that type of stuff. But they invited the board.
That's 5 families.
No,
Out of 800, we have,
it was 5 at each school.
okay.
I'm sorry.
But still,
I may have misspoke.
let's say it's 30 families out of 800 kids that aren't coming to school. We're not addressing the problem.
I would
I mean,
also,
that's fine. I'm not saying don't do it.
Right.
But you've got 25% of your children not showing up here, and you're gonna address 30 families.
yeah. But I'll tell you, our attendance task force here in Creek, and it's led really by Kelly Hill and Lorraine Ahern, and we have several other members of that task force. Our Connections to Wellness in the Creek event, which we did our 3rd annual, sponsors paid to be part of that. And so we were able to take $2,500 from that and give it to the task force. So they're going to do very similar to what Count Us In is. So what it does is it multiplies those efforts. So they're going to be also inviting families who are having challenges with attendance and building a connection with them and providing dinners and incentives. So it's the same thing. So I think it's just, we get several organizations that are doing this. It's going to help us by multiplying those efforts.
I don't know, it just sounds like we're rewarding kids for not coming to school. I guess that's kind of blunt, but, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I'm not against it, I just, yeah.
Can we take the extra $100,000 that we got in that grant and use that towards?
That has to go toward our reading,
Okay, I figured you did.
but good idea. Yes.
Well, I'll leave it at this. You're addressing roughly 4% of the 800 kids. So while that's not a bad thing, that's not realistic. It's not even close to realistic. I think we need to revisit that. If it's that big of a problem, I mean, that's what we said here, and one of our excuses for test scores was attendance. And we're gonna address 4% of the 800 kids that aren't coming to school. I don't think that's gonna change test scores.
So Jim or Michelle, is the plan to take lessons learned from this and then spread it out to the greater population of the school?
Yes, absolutely. And, I'm excited when we're talking about 40%. Like, I don't know the reach of our task force. When I say that they're multiplying efforts that look like Count Us In, our task force can do more than Count Us In can do for us. I mean, these are attendance liaisons that are in every building that are reaching out and having conversations with families. So they're pretty aggressive. So I do think I would rather us adopt more of these processes than talk about taking any of them away. Because I agree, it sounds like it's small on a scale, but all of it together will add up and will make a difference.
I have one more thing. Oh, I gotta get my thoughts. So you said it's been ongoing. This isn't the first one that will have taken place. Do we have any results of what the previous ones have?
Yeah, I can
I
have
mean-
that I'm sorry.
Sorry, yeah.
Go ahead.
Has the data made a difference, I guess, is what I'm asking.
Yeah, so we do know that our chronic absenteeism has dropped, not significantly. It's still an issue for sure, and we still have frustration from teachers when kids aren't showing up for class. I think it is making a difference, but we're definitely not where we need to be. This year is where we actually really started pushing our attendance task force. I got involved with that as deputy superintendent with those teams to meet and talk about ideas. And so I think it's a step in the right direction, but I would love to have that team come and talk about some success stories and what they think we could even do better.
Yeah, all right.
Sorry I brought up
Oh, it's okay.
Oh, don't be.
That's why we're
I
here.
I just want to know, instead of beating the horse, is this, again, I don't want to sound abrasive, but if we have a kid that just constantly does not want to come to school, and we have limited seating, then bring in somebody that wants to come to school, you know, whether it's from another district or from wherever, but I'm not for school choice so much, but, or give more time to some of our kids, and then our teachers can spend more time instead of trying to chase this other kid around. That's all. I don't.
I think there's a new, I think the law has changed slightly that you, whether you're 17 or not, your parent still has to, now you have to have permission. They can't just go out 17 or not. I guess before, when it was 17, they could stop coming to school.
You can do a lot to be emancipated. There's all sorts of things that you can do at 17. But yeah, you're right, Kim. Who knows what the government's thing to.
But some of them
dictate
don't
their
care whether they
existence.
have parent permission or
All
not.
right.
They just
And then the other question I had, so we stopped on those two items, you know, the thing, and then the $100,000 extra, $1,30,000, is that what it was roughly? I'm sorry. 100,000. What do you plan on doing with that money, Michelle? I mean, have you already, you know, figured out that I'm gonna buy, yeah, what kind of gizmo are we gonna get this month to help the kids out?
No gizmos. We're going to, there were parts of the program that I didn't include in the original purchase because I wanted to stick with just the basics because our.
In case we went over budget?
In case we were.
That's great. Great
Yeah.
answer.
So now that we have more money, we'll purchase the app and the software that goes with the reading program and some workbooks and things that go with the program that we didn't include in the original purchase.
Excellent idea. Thank you. That's good idea.
Thank you, Michelle.
I'd like to say one more thing about the attendance, and I'm gonna drop it. I would like to see whoever's over curriculum audit each building administrator that they have addressed our handbook by the letter with every child that has attendance issues and hold the building principals accountable. Let's start there. If they haven't sent out every letter, if there hasn't been a notice, let's hold the building principals accountable for the truancy and start there. And then at least we know, go ahead. Yeah, sure.
I would really love, if this is obviously a hot topic, and I would love to bring our student success coordinators. In fact, Kelly Hale and Lorraine Ahern and I had a conversation because we had support staff training Monday, Tuesday over at the middle school, and they approached me. They were talking about this event that they're organizing and their plans. They were talking about ideas on how to improve, you know, as a task force. And one of the issues we run into is our student success coordinators in the elementaries in particular deal with both student behavior and attendance. And it's a big job. And they were saying that they don't think that they're able to get all the letters out and follow through and do all of the steps because it's such a big job. And so we were having a conversation about how this does have to become an entire team. It cannot fall on one individual in any building. And the principal and their leadership team, their social worker, their student success coordinator, this is going to become part of our MTSS, and we are going to monitor our data on a monthly basis. And I'll be happy to bring that to the board to show how we're doing.
You need to hold the building principal accountable. That's their job. Every time we pass a handbook, that is board policy. It's their job to follow it. If they're not following it, hold the building principal accountable. I don't care about who down the food chains don't have time to write a letter. They don't have hours. If they gotta stay here 2 hours after work to do letters, I'm sure it's a form letter. All they gotta do is have a different name and a different address on an envelope.
We will make sure that the letters go out.
But that's who's accountable, Michelle.
But right, and absolutely, you're 100%. We have systems, we have policies, and we all need to follow them, 100%. And as you guys pointed out, as you yourself said, letters alone aren't gonna get the job done. So with or
Sometimes
without
it's the thought
letters.
that goes
so.
behind the letter. You
Well,
know,
let's-
like
let's-
the time, you're investing that time into this child coming to school.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and
Yeah, I think the face-to-face
just so-
contact, the phone, I'd rather see phone calls happening than letters. We have to do the letters, that's the policy. However, what's going to actually move the needle is a relationship with the family and finding out what's the real reason. Like you've brought up bullying. If a child's being bullied, we need to find that out and stop that and get them back to school, right? If it's a transportation issue, I've sat in meetings with the ISD and they have offered for low-income families like mechanic in Flint that will work and do work on cars at a lower price for families so they can afford it, so they can get their kids to school. I mean, it's a very complex issue with a lot of different moving parts. And I know that Lorraine and Kelly both were saying, watching board meetings and hearing the board speak and stuff, they would love to come and explain all the things that they do and their colleagues do here and all the plans they have in place. And we have brought attention to this by visiting every building last year, letting teachers, principals, everyone know. And our leadership teams, we just had our retreat, and they know that not just academics, not just attendance, not just behavior, but all three have to improve, and they have to be addressed. I'm
So,
very
Michelle,
confident.
And also to add on to that, when we talk about the 5-day letter, 10-day letter, 15-day letter, they're not just letters that go out. There's also meetings that are connected to that with parents. There's meetings with liaisons. So it's not just we're sending letters and ignoring it. There's processes with those letters that have to take place.
But if we don't have enough people to do the letters, how are we gonna have anyone to do this? And as far as transportation goes, how many children don't qualify for a bus ride in the district? They don't have to get it, they don't have to need a car. They need to walk little Billy or Susie out to the curb. There's bus rides.
And I know this.
Hang on a second, Chuck, I'm sorry.
That's all right.
And your systems are not policies. Your job is to follow the board policies. The systems, you can have all the systems you want. But if they're not working, then we have to fall back on our policies. And you cannot get these kids into a courtroom setting in front of a referee until you've done these things. That's the law. So we need to get the law part of it taken care of first and get them into the court system. Because we have no teeth here. If we had teeth, the kids would already be sitting in classrooms. We have fix-it measures and feel-good measures, but they're not, you gotta do this measures coming from a guy or a gal in a black robe. So we had one that didn't wanna go to school over in Linden, and she spent 14 days out at RDC. And after she came back from RDC, she decided she'd go to school. And that's what I'm saying, and it's, transportation, I'm not trying to be mean, but if that's where we've gotta go with this, I want every time that we can to follow the board policy and get us to that point. We're doing exactly what the ISD's doing, because they're not doing it. You can call over and ask them. There's too many bodies, and that's the same thing here. And if we can't, how can we make phone calls if we can't? How long does it take to fill out a letter that's a generic letter? All you're doing is putting a different kid's name on it, but you're gonna make phone calls? If we can't do a letter, I don't know how we're ever gonna make a phone call.
Well, and I'm not saying we're not doing letters.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that in addition to, we need to put more resources at this, for sure.
That's fine. I won't disagree. I love resources. I love helping people. But we have to do what our board policies say.
Yeah, I would say we are, and our task force would verify that. I think that's our next best step is to get our task force here, and they would love the opportunity to share what they do.
One quick question, Jim. How many kids saw a court referee last year?
I would have to get that to you.
I'm willing to take a bet here. I'd bet less than 10,
Yeah.
if that. But yet you've got 800 kids with an attendance problem. It's not working.
Ken brought up something. I know, actually Michelle did. If they need transportation, are these children from outside our district? and school of choice people taking up resources of Swartz Creek Community Schools?
I think that's fair to present.
I don't know, I'm just asking because I heard that comment, and I'm like, and then I heard Ken's comment about, well, the kid can walk to the bus. So my assumption is, which assumptions get you in trouble, my logical thought process is that if there are transportation problems, there's children coming from outside our district, and we're already paying $3 or $4 grand extra for those kids to be in our district, and now what's costing us that? And that's another argument down the road. But then it feels like the children in this district then are even suffering more if that's the case. I'm gonna have a big problem with that because most of the people here voted for school of choice. If my resources are being taken for children outside the district, not that I'm against them, but I have to worry about my own house first, once again. So that keyed me in. Michelle, I don't know if you can get that number for me.
We can include it.
Is that a number that's incorporated somewhere in the system?
We have a new program, and Munetrics, and as I committed to the board, we're
Okay.
working with that company. And we will look at attendance, academics, and behavior, and disaggregate the data on the demographic
yeah,
of
yeah.
resident and non-resident.
Perfect. That answers my last question. Thank you, Jim.
Anyone else on that topic? All right, thank you, everybody. I look forward to that, Michelle.
We're gonna have the two ladies come in, give us a report too.
Yes, yes.
And put September 16th at 6 o'clock at the Performing Arts Center. We are all invited to join them for the family event related to attendance. 6 o'clock. All right. Next, we have informational items that are in your packet, appointment of non-certified staff, and we have some retirements. Congratulations to the folks that are retiring. And the next item we have is superintendent search process. I can give some additional information if anybody's interested, other than just bringing the folks here. Is that okay with everybody? Yes? Okay. So I did have a conversation with Tim Stein from Michigan Leadership Institute. Tim is a former superintendent, as other folks are who work with MLI. He is from Flushing. I asked him questions representative of the questions we've had in the past, knowing that we would likely have to narrow the field eventually. And so thank you, Jim and Sue, for getting additional information for us to go through. But I did ask him about timing. We had had that conversation previously, timing of getting a superintendent on board, even if they don't start until next July. Mr. Kitchen has indicated interest in being here until July, and when he retires, or until such time that we have someone that would start before July. That search takes about 12 to 14 weeks, as I mentioned earlier, and he did say that starting in the fall and going into early next year is probably our ideal time to pull the candidate pool that we would like. So that would mean that in September, October, we would start looking at stakeholders groups, like I mentioned, teachers, support staff, administrators, parents, students, school board, to get an idea of what kind of profile of a candidate the district is looking for. The advantage of somebody like a Tim Stein, who has a lot of experience and is a consultant for this company, is that they know a lot of the folks that are current superintendents, assistant superintendents, and those folks that are interested and have accomplished training or have some additional experience that would qualify them for being superintendents within Michigan, and possibly even outside of Michigan, but their focus is mostly in Michigan. Then he said we'd have to look at November through December to get that profile created based on the feedback that we received, and then post in December. Interestingly enough, he's already had some folks approach him. There's been no commitment to him, but people know who does the searches. And they've had people come to him asking about what's going on with Swartz Creek and do you know any timing? So that's interesting. And then there's several rounds. So the first round, you look at the field of candidates. We can go into closed session to close down that list. And then you would then schedule visits to their school districts, interviews based on the 5 or 6 candidates. And this is going to be similar amongst the different search firms, probably not identical. And then the second round, we would spend time with the folks coming into our district where they could meet with people additionally. And then they do presentations, they answer questions from the board. And the goal would be a July 1st start date possibly with an by end of January selection. So this is just representative of the conversation that I had with him. And we can have similar conversations with the other folks. We can bring all 4 of them in. We can narrow it down to 2. I personally don't have a preference, but just wanted to give you an idea. They will also offer to do a workshop with the board and the new superintendent. They stay in contact with the new superintendent for a year after that person is in place so that they have a mentor and somebody that they can reach out to if they have questions. And there's also, did I say there's a board governance workshop that they will do, and they guarantee the candidate, a candidate to be selected. So that just gives you a kind of an overview, and it's very similar to what you will see as you look through these other packets. They have similar services. They know each other very well, and Tim is going to send us a proposal within the next week. I know we have a proposal from MASB, correct? And HYA, I don't remember what their letters stand for, but they are one of the groups in Iowa. And then we have Ray and Associates. So that's what I have documented and discovered in my research over and above what we talked about a couple months ago. Any conversation that anybody wants to have other than what we've already have?
Where's the proposal at? I'm sorry.
Which one?
You said that they've sent you some proposals?
No. Okay, so this one, Sue and Jim have been getting information. This particular one from HYA, which is Hazard Young Atea, they sent a search process. This is not a proposal per se, it's just how this would all work. And it probably is very similar to what I just described. They have similar processes, but it would behoove us to look through all of these. I asked Tim Stein to send us a proposal so that there's documentation of what we talked about. And then there's also one from MASB. This is an actual proposal. MASB obviously is our association, and they have executive search services that they provide. And so that one's this one right here. And then there's, who am I missing? Ray and Associates was the other one. So if we wanted to bring them all into a board meeting, I would say that's probably going to be a good portion of the meeting that we have.
We could have a special meeting for that, couldn't we?
We could.
Just for that issue, because it's going to
We
be such a
could.
big issue. Who did you were here the longest. I think I've been
Yes.
here the second longest, but Ken was here before me for quite a while. Who did we use to hire Ben Mankey?
It was either MLI or MASB. I'd have to look.
I'm sorry?
MASB. I've actually been involved with MLI and MASB for the different superintendent searches.
Bless you.
So if that's what we would like to do, we can invite them, follow through with make sure we get proposals in advance and give them a timeline. You have X number of minutes to come and present. And if we need to schedule a special meeting,
Would you like a motion on that?
That would be wonderful.
Okay. And, I think that was the timeline I described anyways, a couple months ago when we said this, you know, real close to it anyways, without maybe a few weeks on and off. So I'm all for it. Are you, you know, before I make the motion and have board deliberation, what's anybody else's comments on it? Seeing hands, huh? I
And
make-
yes, I'm sorry, Ken, you're right. We did use MASB in 2016
Okay.
for Ben.
And then for Rod, we just took him because he was here. I make a motion that we start the search process for a new superintendent by looking at these 4 firms. And then hopefully the board comes to consensus on one of the firms and then go from there.
Thank you. Can I also ask, as a point of clarification, because I believe that 2 of these are from out of state, if they wanted to do a virtual meeting with us, would everybody be okay with that? It's from Iowa. Was there any objection to that? If we had to have them do an Iowa virtual? Okay. I'm just asking now because that may come up. All right, so
I wouldn't offer
HYA,
it, but-
I'm sorry?
I said I wouldn't offer it, but if it's.
No,
that's
but
the
if
way
they
can
say-
make it, then yeah.
Right, it's either that or they can't be here. I'd rather have all 4 if we can get them.
One question. Do these companies have very much difference in how much it costs? I mean, is there like, or they're all pretty much the same?
MASB charges a flat fee because we are members, but they also charge, as do all the others, they charge travel expenses, food expenses, hotel if they have to stay overnight. And it can run somewhere in the neighborhood of $20,000 to $30,000 total.
Probably for any of them? Okay.
All right, so is that your motion? Back to your motion, I'm sorry. I
Yes, my
interrupted
original
you.
motion stays, yes.
Yes, okay. Support, anybody? Support. Thank you, Kim. Any other comments or questions? Hearing none, can I get a roll call vote, please, Nikki?
Carrie Germain,
Yes.
Kim Winter,
Yes.
Chuck Melkey,
Yes.
Alyssa Bouchard. Yes. Ken Engel. Yes. And Autumn Henry.
Yes.
Thanks, everybody. And thanks for doing the research. Sure, go ahead.
Can we, since it will be a special meeting, is it possible to do this in early September? We're having 3 this month. We have kids coming back, lots of trainings. If we could do early September, because our next board meeting after August 27th is the end of the month. So if we did maybe that first full week after Labor Day for a special meeting on a Wednesday night.
Does the 9th work? 10th work for you guys? I'm sorry, Tuesday and Wednesday, and then Thursday is the 11th. 10th is good?
Either one of those.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm good either 9th or the 10th.
Autumn,
Yeah.
any preference?
No.
Okay, it sounds like 10th is the predominant. Okay, so if we can look at the 10th, it's a Wednesday,
6 o'clock?
6 o'clock.
Okay.
Special board meeting. All right, thank you. That was easy. All right. Next, we have board action items, my favorite time of year. We have new staff candidates being presented to us.
Yes, this is an exciting time. Once again, we're very pleased with the talent we're bringing on board here in Creek, and as you can see out there, it looks like they brought a lot of support with them. At this time, I'd like to invite Heather Briggs up to introduce a couple of candidates that'll be joining Deke.
Good evening. Do you have a particular order you'd like to
Yeah,
go
we
in?
have Peyton.
Okay. Peyton, come on up. Hello. All right, it is my privilege to recommend for hire Peyton Bailey as a third grade teacher at Deke Elementary. She's a recent graduate of University of Michigan, Flint, when she graduated with honors. She has her degree in elementary education. She did her student teaching with Barbie Wykes in a 5th grade classroom, and she'd be serving in a 3rd grade classroom at Deke. She also has extensive coaching experience, so we're hoping maybe she'll get interested in helping out with our athletics as well.
Welcome, Peyton. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself? Anything you'd like us to know? And then I'm going to ask you, why Swartz Creek?
Other than what Ms. Heather Briggs had just said, outside of, school, some things I really enjoy to do are just being outside and being in nature. I love to go walk at any of the local trails, go run or go read. And because Swartz Creek, I fell in love with the district when I was able to student teach here, and also when I was able to be the assistant swim coach for the middle school. I fell in love with the community and everything that Deke had to offer. I love the staff and the administration. Everyone here has been so kind and just given such a helping hand while I was student teaching. And I was very grateful when I was able to, to just be standing here right now. So that is why I chose Swartz Creek.
Thank you very much. We love to hear that.
Are you sure you're not in high school? You look like you should be a high school student.
No.
Certified and ready to go.
I make a motion, we hire Peyton Bailey for the position asked at Deke Elementary.
Do you have support?
Support.
Okay, Chuck and Autumn. Any comments or questions? Hearing none, be it resolved that the Swartz Creek Community Schools Board of Education approves the SCEA employment of Peyton Bailey, 3rd grade teacher at Deke Elementary, as presented.
Thank you.
And can we do roll call? This is going to be a lot, Nikki, so.
Okay. Carrie,
Yes.
Kim Winter,
Yes.
Chuck Melkey,
Yes.
Alyssa Bouchard,
Yes.
Ken Engel,
Yes, congratulations.
Thank you.
and Autumn Henry.
Yes.
Motion passes. Congratulations and welcome.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
We'd like to invite Kim Sanders to the podium, one of our veterans.
Hello. It is with great pleasure that I also recommendation for hire Kim Sanders. She has lots of experience teaching. She taught at Deke Elementary for over 27 years, kindergarten all the way up through 4th grade. And she loved us so much that she couldn't stay away and wanted to come back to her Deke Dragon family. She continued her certifications with the Teachers of Tomorrow and decided to take the route of special education. So we are recommending her for hire as a resource room teacher at Deke Elementary.
Welcome.
Thank you.
So you know the drill.
I do.
Tell us a little bit about yourself, and then why did you choose Swartz Creek?
Okay, so, well, I was born and raised here in Swartz Creek, so I'm a former Creek grad. I actually got my job here in Swartz Creek back in 1997, so I worked here for 27 years. Both of my kids are Swartz Creek graduates, so Swartz Creek is just my home.
It's wonderful.
Thanks.
And special ed.
Yeah.
I was so excited when I saw special ed because I know that's a challenge.
Well, when I retired, I actually long-term subbed at Deke in a special ed classroom, and I just fell in love. I loved what I was doing, which brought me back.
I know that these folks have educated us well, that it's hard to find special education folks. And so, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for choosing Swartz
Well,
Creek.
thank you, of
All
course.
right, with that,
Yeah, I'll make a little bit, I'm confused. You retired already
I did. I did.
and you're coming back?
I am. I love it.
I I like it. I've retired twice, and I'm still working, so I like that. That's good. I make a motion that we hire Kimberly for Peak Elementary as a special ed teacher.
Thank you, Chuck. Do I have support? Kim? All right. Be it resolved that the Swartz Creek Community Schools Board of Education approves the SCEA employment of Kim Sanders, special education teacher at Deek Elementary as presented. Nikki, can you do roll call, please?
Carrie Germain,
Yes.
Kim Winter,
Yes.
Chuck Melkey,
Yes.
Alyssa
Yes.
Bouchard. Yes. Ken Engel. Yes. Autumn Henry.
Yes.
Thank you. 6 yeses, motion passes, and welcome back.
Thank you.
All right, if we could have Brandy Bevel come forward and bring Emily for consideration.
I bring before you Emily Ballant for Siring Elementary, second grade. She really blew us away during our interviews. She loves building relationships with students and families and giving the child every resource that she can. And she was talking about how she's thinking about them at home and how all of our students have a special place in our heart. And that's just our culture here and one of our values. She also has a growth mindset. She loves learning and is always reflecting and loves to be coached and part of new opportunities. So we're excited to present her to you tonight.
Welcome, Emily.
Thank you.
So tell us a little bit about yourself and why did you choose Swartz Creek?
So I am a mom to a 10-year-old daughter. We like hiking and being outside. I chose Swartz Creek because this is where I graduated from. And actually my pre-kindergarten teacher is a kindergarten teacher at Siring. And then my third grade teacher is a second grade teacher at Siring as well. So the teachers that helped me give extra love, I get to work with now. So that's really exciting.
That's wonderful.
Yes.
All right. Chuck, do you have a motion?
No, I like a motion. I just want to ask one quick question, though. These two teachers that still work at Cyrene, what have they said to you? I mean, how is their, respect for you and their love for you?
When I was working on the classroom, one of the teachers came in, she kind of looked at me, and I said, "You look confused, are you okay?" And she goes, "You just look so different."
Oh.
Yeah, because when I was in third grade, I had these big Harry Potter glasses, so she was like, "Wow." And then they said, "Well, I feel old," and I said, "You guys don't look old."
Did you surprise them? Did they know you were coming in as a student teacher, or was it a surprise to them, like, oh my gosh?
I think they had heard before I came into the building, yeah.
I would have liked to hear what the surprise was. I wish it would have been, that'd been cool. But anyways, I make a motion to hire you for the Cyrene Elementary position, and I know you'll do a good job for us.
Thank you.
Do we have support? Support. Thank you, Alyssa. Be it resolved that the Swartz Creek Community Schools Board of Education approves the SCEA employment of Emily Ballant, second grade teacher at Siring Elementary as presented. And Nikki, can you do roll call, please?
Carrie Germain,
Yes.
Kim Winter,
Yes.
Chuck Melkey,
Yes.
Alyssa Bouchard,
Yes.
Ken Engel. Yes. Autumn Henry.
Yes.
6
yeses.
Yeses. Welcome.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Congratulations. Roll call.
Congratulations. It's really cool you're coming back to the school.
All right, if we could have our middle school principal, R.J. Kaplan, come forward and bring Jerica Vanderker with him, that'd be great.
All right, where's Jerica? Hey, there you are. How are you doing? I didn't see you over there. So I'm excited to be before you today. We had some positions not easy to fill Jerica, not Jessica, Jerica, comes with us with a specialist in ed leadership, I believe, focused in being a director of special education. She has a master's in the science of special education, focused in learning disabilities, and magna cum laude in college as a graduate. So I recommend for your approval, Jerica Vanderkar.
Welcome, Jerica.
Thank
Tell
you.
us a little bit about yourself and why did you choose Swartz Creek?
Yeah, I'm a mom of 3 littles, so I have a 10-year-old, a 6-year-old, and a 4-year-old. So much fun and busyness with all of that. I heard so many amazing things about Swartz Creek. My daughter was part of I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with it, but the FSRC swim team. So it's like a summer swim team, and half of the team was from Swartz Creek. And all of these parents and all of these kids are saying amazing things, and everybody I've ever spoken to about Swartz Creek has amazing things to say. Flushing is where we live, and we're pretty closely tied like with the swim teams and things like that. So all of my students and everything continue to have amazing things to say. So when I saw a position open, I applied.
Well, thank you for being here.
Thanks.
All right, with that, does anybody, including Chuck, want to?
I'm going to make a motion that we hire Jerica, I like your name, I've never heard that before.
Thank you.
For the position of special ed at the middle school.
Support? Melissa? All right. Be it resolved that the Swartz Creek Community Schools Board of Education approves the SCEA employment of Jerica Vanderker, special education teacher at Swartz Creek Middle School as presented. Any comments or questions? Hearing none. Nikki, can you do roll call, please?
Carrie Germain,
Yes.
Kim Winter,
Yes.
Chuck Melkey,
Yes.
Alyssa Bouchard,
Yes.
Ken Engel,
Yes.
Autumn Henry.
Yes.
That's 6 yes.
6 yeses. Congratulations and welcome.
Congratulations.
Congratulations, Jerica. Good luck.
All right, if we can have Carrie Katzeff come forward.
So we're very excited about Carrie. Not an easy task to find 2 people in special education in your district probably, let alone in your own building. To attract the kind of candidates we have is just a testament to the culture that our teachers have built at that building. So Carrie comes to us and she is filling a role of a teacher consultant, which was filled by a previous individual, Michelle Culver, who in my years of teaching is just an incredible, incredible woman. So I was honored to work with her. And then Carrie came in. So Carrie has a master's in special education with focusing, I think, on at-risk students, has an undergraduate in psychology. She has the experience that she brings can only be, I guess, equal to her knowledge with, IEPs and IEP meetings, CPI instruction, behavior plan writing, special education law. We had a candidate when we brought in, we're like, yep, we found our candidate, and then Carrie came in, and we were like, that's it. So I bring Carrie, and she also likes, we have to talk, because you like live music, so I want to pick your brain about that. But, I bring forth Carrie Katzeff for your recommendation for your approval.
Carrie, what a great name.
Hi, thank you. It's spelled a little different, but.
So tell us about yourself and why did you choose Swartz Creek?
Absolutely. So this is my 28th year in education. I have taught both in Maryland and in Michigan, so I'm glad to be back. I graduated from Grand Blanc, so I'm glad to be back in Michigan now. I have 4 kids. 2 of my 2 sons go to Michigan State, and I have twin girls that are seniors in high school this year, so will be a busy year for them. I enjoy live music. I enjoy being outdoors and very active. I chose Swartz Creek. I actually graduated from high school with one of the 6th grade teachers at the middle school. So I've kept in contact with her, and she's always given such high remarks about how wonderful this community is, and I love small communities that are very very tight and very involved, and I love that. And I feel as a teacher consultant, it's a very good stepping stone for this point in my career as I, look into more of leadership roles. So I think this will be a very good experience, and I'm excited with the people that I've met that will help, kind of guide me and mentor me in these roles.
Thank you. That's really exciting. Thank you for sharing. All right. I need
I'll make a motion that we
Sure.
hire Carrie for the middle school as a special education and teacher consultant.
all right. Do we have a support?
Support.
Thank you, Autumn. All right. Be it resolved that the Swartz Creek Community Schools Board of Education approves the SCEA employment of Carrie Katzif, special education teacher at Swartz Creek Middle School as presented. Any comments or questions? If not, Nikki, can you do roll call, please?
Carrie Germain.
Yes.
Kim Winter.
Yes.
Chuck Melkey.
Yes.
Alyssa Bouchard.
Yes.
Ken Engel. Yes. Autumn Henry.
Yes.
6 yeses.
Thank you. 6 yeses. Congratulations and welcome.
Congratulations. Good luck, Carrie.
If we could have Travis Lindsay come forward, please. Lindsay Travis.
That's
happened to me my entire
And,
It's even
why don't
written
you
that
come on-
way.
Melena, why don't you come on up here for a second? Yeah, why don't you come up here? You can come stand with your mom.
I'm so sorry. I did not see that there was someone.
okay.
Oh,
And
we tried to
Not
include.
growing up, there was a Travis Lindsay 1 street over. So it's my whole life it's been this way. It's okay.
Right.
This is my daughter Melena.
You know this lady? You do? Oh, look at that smile. Well, okay.
So thank you. So, my third candidate here, Lindsay Travis, all right, she has a Master's of Art in Literacy, as a literacy specialist, right? Almost 18 years now of experience, a great classroom leader, and we're very excited with the, just her professionalism and excitement to be here. And I think when you offer candidates a job, my favorite thing was talking to her, and I said, when she picked up the phone, and I said we were done interviewing, I said, how would you like to be a dragon like your daughter? So, so we thought, Melena, we'd have you come up too next to Mom. But for your recommendation and your approval, I give you Lindsay Travis. Thank you.
Welcome, Lindsay. Hi. If you could just tell us a little bit about yourself, and
Sure.
I'm so happy she was able to join you. And why did you choose Swartz Creek?
Well, so my name is Lindsay, and like RJ said, I have my master's as a literacy specialist, so teaching reading is my passion, but more so middle school. Out of the 17 years I've taught, 10 of them have been 7th grade ELA, and that's kind of my baby. And so her and I moved into this neighborhood 3 years ago, fell in love with it. We love Siring, we love Miss Bevel. I just love the community. She's a part of the cheer team. And so I just knew that I wasn't gonna search for a job again, but once the 7th grade ELA position came open in Swartz Creek, I would apply. And so I got lucky and just happened to look 5 hours after it was posted, so I applied. And here I am, and she's my reason.
Aw, that's the best.
We love the community. I mean, if my car breaks down, I can walk to work, you know? So it's logistically nice. I'm a single mom, so it's just me and her. So it's logistically, it's beautiful to live in a community that you love so much that you also want to work in the same community.
Okay.
That's good.
All right. So Chuck, did you have a motion?
Yeah, I'll make a motion to hire Lindsay for the middle school position. And I appreciate you coming here.
Thank
You'll
you.
be a good fit because you live in the community. If you have
Absolutely.
problems with your car, just ask Michelle Paul. She'll have somebody
Okay.
hook you up to fix it up at a reduced rate. That's
Okay.
my only advice to you right now. Okay?
All right, thank you.
Thank you for coming.
Okay, do I have support?
Support.
Autumn? All right. Be it resolved that the Swartz Creek Community Schools Board of Education approves the SCEA employment of
It's all good.
Lindsay Travis. Got that right,
Yep.
right? ELA teacher at Swartz Creek Middle School as presented. Any comments or questions?
I do. One, Chuck, you just stole my thunder. But you can take that attitude and maybe drive it into kids' heads at the middle school that, you know what? You can still get here even if you gotta walk. How about that?
My wheels are already spinning about attendance, so I've been thinking the whole time.
Thank you.
I've got thoughts for you.
That was a beautiful, beautiful statement.
Thank you.
All right. If there are no other comments or questions, and that was very nice. Nikki, can you do roll call, please?
Carrie Germain.
Yes.
Kim Winter.
Yes.
Chuck Melkey.
Yes.
Alicia Bouchard.
Yes.
Ken Engel. Autumn Henry.
Yes.
6 yes.
Thank you, ma'am. Motion passes. Congratulations and welcome.
Congratulations.
Congratulations. I know. You look at you, you really do. I like it. You're in the community. Hi, young lady. Have fun tonight. You and your mom are going to celebrate.
All right, I'd like to invite Sydney Gopal to the podium. Dave is going to introduce her, and I might add that her mom is a pretty esteemed person here in Crete, best known for her role as PTO president at Elms Road. But she also served here a long time as our HR person. She's in the audience and retired recently. So this is her daughter, Sydney. So Dave.
Present to you Sydney Gopal. Her mom is well known, but Sydney was a student of mine back at the middle school, did just about everything, leadership, almost as much as Jake Winter back in the day. So I think you guys were pretty close in age.
Yeah, I think he was
Somewhere
2
in
years
there.
younger than me.
So
Yeah.
when Sydney told us that she was finishing up her job, she did her, they don't call it student teaching for speech therapy, but her practicum, she did part of it with Tina Dean over at the middle school beginning of last year, and kind of looking at the timing and saying, when are you done with school and how soon can we get you? And last year was a tough year for us. We had 1.5, 2 openings in speech pathology, and we couldn't fill them, and we had to do virtual services. So feel very fortunate to be able to invite Sydney, just freshly graduated and just posted her certification here just like 2 days ago. So very excited to get her in here, and I know she'll do a good job.
Welcome, Sydney.
Thank you.
So tell us a little bit about yourself and why you chose Swartz Creek. And I'm personally interested in why you chose being an SLP. I have a daughter who's an SLP.
Yeah, so actually I decided to be an SLP because of my mom. I finished my associate's degree at Mott, and I was ready to go into business. I wanted to be like a franchisee, and it didn't feel right. And my mom actually said, you should try speech pathology. And I looked into it, and I was like, this is perfect. This says I want to help people. I want to have the ability to be flexible, work with kids, all of those things. And I just fell in love with it, and I immediately enrolled at Eastern and got going on that. And then a little bit about myself. I was a substitute teacher here as well, doing my undergrad, so I can kind of get my foot in the door. I did some work for a clinic in Davison, a pediatric clinic. Yeah, I've been really involved. I just wanted to get my feet in any way that I can. And I loved my internship here. It was excellent. I could not have asked for a better placement. I did 4 rotations, so 2 at Eastern, 1 at a school, and then 1 at a pediatric clinic. So yeah, that's a little bit about me.
Good.
And yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right. You need a motion?
Yes, I'll make a motion. Well, hold on. What was your franchise business going to be?
I have worked at Jimmy John's since 2016, so while I was in school, I was also
Did you
doing...
work down there by me? Which one did you work at?
Hill
Linden
Road.
Oh, Hill Road, that one, that's a nice
Yeah,
one.
I'm still working there right now, too, so...
So, that was gonna be your,
That's the side gig now, so...
I make a motion that we hire Cindy Gupel for the position of speech for Where's she gonna be located at? She gonna float?
I'll start at Elms, and then I think we'll
She's
figure
gonna
out
float
from
wherever
there.
she's needed? Okay. I like to say the school, but all the district.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks, Chuck. And do I have a second? Okay, Alyssa? All right. Be it resolved that the Swartz Creek Community Schools Board of Education approves the SCEA employment of Sydney Gopal, speech pathologist at LDLC and Gaines Elementary as presented. Any comments or questions?
Where's she gonna be at? Oh, she will be on the VL.
Hearing no other questions, Nikki, can you do roll call, please?
Carrie Germain,
Yes.
Kim Winter,
Yes.
Chuck Melkey,
Pass, we gotta break up the rotation. Just let, you'll be fine, she's gonna come back to me, pass.
Melissa Bouchard. Yes.
We gotta
Ken
break up the
Engel.
whole rotation.
Autumn Henry,
Yes.
Chuck Melkey.
Yes.
Oh, thank you.
Is that everyone?
6 yeses.
6. Motion passes.
Yeah, there's no
Congratulations and
rotation.
welcome.
Don't give up on Jimmy. Always good to have a side business.
All right, if we could bring up Lauren Bentel, please, to the podium.
Speech pathologist, you.
All right, and Lauren is our second speech pathologist we're bringing for you today. And again, that rounds out our full team of speech pathologists, so we're pretty excited about that. The only disclaimer, and that's why I just realized Sydney's, I wrote LDLC and Gaines on there. I think I messed up, but she's going to start at Elms because she's taking over for a maternity leave we've got going. So they are going to be a little bit floating at the beginning. Okay. They're going to be covering, but they've all kind of heard that song and dance. But Lauren came to us from Pennsylvania, actually, just moved to Michigan. And we actually interviewed her first just as a virtual interview. There were no candidates in the area. We tried interviewing a few, and they all took jobs right away. As soon as they come out of school, they're getting jobs. So Lauren interviewed with us. She very, very much impressed the team that I had online. One of them said, "I think she's smarter than me." That was after she got off the call. So she spoke very well to the business of speech pathology, has a lot of different experience, clinical and school experience in terms of her preparation. So, but she also just got her certification earlier this summer and is ready to go. So, Lauren Bentel for your consideration.
Welcome, Lauren,
Thank you.
all the way from Pennsylvania.
Well, it's been a long trek here. I was born and raised in in Texas.
Oh.
So moved to Virginia, back to Texas, and up to Erie. So all over the place. But yeah.
Was there anything else you'd like to tell us about yourself and then why you chose Swartz Creek?
Not too much. I also passed my boards, so that's kind of exciting thing. But I have 2 dogs, no kids. So I have an English Mastiff and a Shepherd mix. But that's really all about me.
Okay.
And then as far as why I chose Swartz Creek, Dave spoke very highly of it, and I really just felt a sense of community, even over a virtual interview. It was incredible, and every step of the way has been made very easy for me in a sense of welcoming. He also spoke very highly about the speech therapists in this community, and it's nice to know that we're acknowledged for the work that we do and, the hours and hours of training we go through to help the kids. So I'm excited to be part of this team and make a difference.
So why did you choose SLP as your career?
Ooh, it was a Google search, and it happened like 2 days. I was a business major, and as soon as I sat in one accounting class, I immediately switched to speech path. So here I am
No
today.
offense, Jamie, no offense. So I didn't ask Sydney, but I don't know if most people in the audience know that there are 9 different disciplines in speech pathology.
Yeah, we cover everything from the neck up.
So my first externship, it was actually in a elementary school, and then my second externship was in a skilled nursing facility. Lots of swallowing, not my gig, so I stuck with kids.
Well, good.
Yeah.
All right. Well, with that, I would entertain a motion.
I make a motion that we hire Lauren for the speech pathologist position. She's gonna be a floater too, I think, right? She's
Hers is
middle
listed
school, high
as
school?
middle school, high school, and probably out to Gaines. There's not as many students out at Gaines to service, so.
So that's my motion.
All right.
For Lauren.
Thank you, Chuck. Do I have support?
Support.
Autumn? Any comments or questions? Be it resolved that the Swartz Creek Community Schools Board of Education approves the SCEA employment of Lauren Bentel, speech pathologist at the middle school and high school as presented. And Nikki, can you do roll call, please? It's only one or two more times.
Sure. Carrie Germain?
Yes.
Kim Winter?
Yes.
Chuck Milky?
Yes.
Alyssa Bouchard? Yes. Ken Engel? Yes. Autumn Henry?
Yes.
All right, 6 yeses, motion passes. Congratulations and welcome.
All right, I'd like to bring Chantel Manning up, along with Erica Close.
Good evening, everyone. I'm here to present to you Ms. Erica Close. She has a bachelor's degree in early childhood, a master's degree in teaching. She impressed us during the interview team with her passion for teaching and her track record for building relationships with her students. She comes highly regarded. I could say so many positive things about Ms. Close with my time working with her at the high school, but I don't want to steal her thunder because the question is, why did you choose Swartz Creek and everything, and tell us about yourself? Kawana? So I have Ms. Erica Close recommended for hire.
First, I have to tell you, I never ever thought I would be here doing this. 25 years ago, I walked away from teaching kindergarten for 4 years to stay with my first daughter. Fast forward 2 more daughters later, and I thought, I'm never going to go back to teaching. I let my certification lapse. Moved to North Carolina after living here for 4 years, moved down to North Carolina. I thought I would never leave North Carolina. Why would I want to leave that? My husband's family was still up here, and we moved back up here 4 years ago just to be closer to them. We're in that season of life with aging parents. And my last daughter was entering her sophomore year of high school, and we asked around. We knew, we had heard of Swartz Creek. My father-in-law graduated from here, and of course, we wanted to be closer to them. They live in Swartz Creek. And so we enrolled her, bought a house 2 weeks before enrollment or school started. It was kind of crazy. And she started off school, and I thought, what am I going to do with myself now? And I thought, well, I know teaching. I could start subbing, but I don't want to go back to elementary because that's not Ella's schedule, my daughter's schedule. So I thought, how hard could it be to sub in a high school? And again, doing something I said I would never, ever do. And I signed up to start subbing, showing up when I wanted to. And at the time, Wanda Cummings was there. And I can't say no to Wanda. And she had asked me to be a premier sub. And I thought, how hard can it be to show up every day with high schoolers? And what's crazy is my heart became softened, and I loved being with those high schoolers every day. It opened my eyes to things that I had not seen before. Well, then fast forward, and I am preparing to be a premier sub for that new school year, and I get a call from Mr. Kitchen. And he says, would you come and be a long-term teacher at ELA 7th grade? And I thought, what in the world? I said I would never do middle school, of all things. And I don't know why I couldn't say no to him. It's his fault. And I did that. It was supposed to be short term. And I did that from August until January, I think. Stepped into doing something that was beyond what I thought I could handle. I did all the things a teacher would do. But again, because of that opportunity, I realized I miss teaching. I miss being here. I miss being with the kids. And it gave me a perspective of the community, the family, the camaraderie, the caliber of people that you have in this district is phenomenal. And it was an honor, even as crazy as it was, and I still can't believe I said yes to that, but it was because of that, because of Wanda, because of him, that I am here where I am today. I never thought I would go back to teaching, but never say never. I just thought, you know, what else can I do now? We're in a season of life where we've got, our daughter's still in college now, she's a sophomore, I'm home with the dog, I've got 2 other daughters, a new granddaughter, all these things. I could stay home with the granddaughter all day long, but that doesn't pay anything. So I just thought, you know what, I'm gonna step into this after a series of all these different events that have led me to where I am now. I'm so grateful because because I said I would do things that I said I would never do. I am standing before you here today. I just can't. Like, you gotta pinch me, I don't know. It's very overwhelming, but I can't imagine being anywhere else. The family, the community, just everything that we value as a family, I just would not want to work anywhere else.
So I heard you say you started back in the high school.
Yes.
And went to the middle school, and if I'm reading this correctly,
Yes.
this is for Elms Elementary.
Yeah, I know.
Did you say you would never go there either?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Well,
I just wondered.
I did say I would never go back to elementary because I developed this, which is crazy to me, a love for high schoolers and middle school. They did. But it get a little complicated because then I'd have to go through all these other classes and stuff, you know, and change my certification. And so I thought, I'll just go back to what I know.
So if we need something done in the district, we just come and ask you. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yes.
Well, thank you for that very comprehensive explanation about why you're here and why you can't say no.
I know, and it's crazy.
All right, well, thank you. All right, with that, I would entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion
Okay?
that we hire Erica as a jack of all trades. Because they're putting you in the elementaries, but you may switch next month. You have a lot of energy.
No.
You have a lot of energy. So yes, Erica. Good luck at Elms.
Thank you.
All right, thanks, Chuck. Do I have support? Thank you, Alyssa. Any comments or questions? Be it resolved that the Swartz Creek Community Schools Board of Education approves the SCEA employment of Erica Close, 3rd grade teacher at Elms Elementary as presented. And Nikki, can you do roll call, please?
Carrie Germain?
Yes.
Kim Winter?
Yes.
Chuck Melkey?
Yes.
Alyssa Bouchard? Yes. Ken Engel?
Yes.
Autumn Henry?
Yes.
6 yeses.
6 yeses, motion passes. Welcome.
All right, and last but not least, we have Derek Bouchon come back to the podium. I believe you all know Derek. He served as our Director of Student Services for many years here in Creek. He left to serve a stint as Superintendent, and then also went to the GISD, and he was the Office of Compliance there, and all along said that he missed Creek. He missed being here, and so we had an opportunity when we posted. He applied, and I give to you for your consideration for hire tonight, Mr. Derek Bouchon.
Welcome back, Derek.
Thanks.
So tell us about yourself. Not everybody on the board, I think, has had the opportunity to meet you, but also, why did you choose Swartz Creek again?
Well, first of all, I think, Sydney, your mom probably got the idea for speech therapy from someone that she might have talked to. Job security, really good. So, welcome. First and foremost, Creek, well, I'll start with why I'm coming back. It's simple. 2 things. I feel like I'm returning home, and this is family. So, but being a family guy, I have 4 of my own boys, some of which you know. I've had to work with closely with one of them in Linden. So 4 of my own boys, 3 graduated. So I'm a family guy. I enjoy doing that, being dad first and foremost, and my husband, or husband being to my wife. But I'm just super excited about the work in special education, getting back to that. I did officially retire, and now I'm looking to come back, so do some work here back in Creek. But again, I can just say that this has been near and dear to my heart. I remember telling Jim, I'm like, I should have never left. But I want to stretch my wings. I wanted to try to become a superintendent. This is my 19th year as an administrator, so it's kind of hard for me to believe that. I still view myself as that goofy kid in the back of the class, but I do enjoy my work. I enjoy fighting for the underdog, always have, and have a passion for helping kids and keeping kids in school engaged, excited about learning, and just happy to be back. Like I said, I feel like I'm back home.
Thank you. All right. If there are no questions for Derek.
I'm going to make the motion, but
Okay.
I do have a question. Director of Services, is that an open position? Is that what you have listed on my flow chart here?
Yes, Director of Student Services, that was vacated by Sean Cobat. She took a superintendency up north.
Right, okay. That's, the 5 is the, I believe, the total that are working there. And the light blue represents full-time employees. Am I correct?
Say that again, I didn't hear you, I'm sorry.
Oh, I said, Autumn had a question.
Yeah, but it
That
says
the
that-
position's open, and it's not a new position.
Right.
And she saw the number 5 underneath there, and I believe, and I'm not 100% sure, but what's highlighted in blue, it's a full-time position. So there's 5 full-time employees plus Derek.
Yes, yes.
Or is that 5 including Derek?
No. So. There's only one up there. Yes.
Right, and 5 employees.
I'm not sure what they're looking at, but
Yeah.
It's
there's only one of me. I
a staff
promise.
chart. Not too late, Derek.
There's, sorry about the whole, there's
No,
just
it's
a
okay.
question. So there's no 5 employees in Director of Student Services?
How many people
No,
make
there's
up
one
that?
director of student services. It may refer to the employees in the department. But he oversees all of special education.
Make a motion that we hire Derek for the Director of
Thank you,
Student
Chuck.
Services.
Do I have support? Alyssa? Any comments or questions?
Just point of order to rotate the vote. We've been saying
Oh,
the
can you
same rotation.
rotate the vote?
Oh, I sure can.
Thank you, Nikki.
That's why I
Hold on.
passed one time on Miss Sydney. I know she thought I was dissing her. I wasn't dissing, I was trying to get the rotation out of whack there. So.
Be it resolved that the Swartz Creek Community Schools Board of Education approves Derek Bouchon as the Executive Director of Student Services as presented. And Nikki, this is the last time for this.
I probably should have said it like 13 employees.
It's okay. Kim Winter,
Yes.
Alyssa Bouchard. Yes. Autumn Henry,
I gotta go no, sorry.
Carrie Jeremy,
Yes.
Chuck Melkey,
Yes.
Ken Engel.
Yes, and nice to see you back.
Thank you, sir.
Do I revisit? I didn't catch Autumn's response.
Oh, okay.
No. 5 yeses.
Yes, 5 yeses, 1 no. Motion passes. Welcome back and congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
All right.
We have a break, Madam President. Maybe some of the people can go home that have been here. For
Yes,
some time.
yes, I was going to suggest that, but thank you for beating me to it, Chuck. So for those of you who are here, and we're very patient in our conversations, which is so important to us, and welcome to all of you who are new, and to the young lady who joined Mom. Glad that you were able to come up here too. I don't know if anybody's taking pictures afterwards. Yes? Okay. Great.
That would be the-
All right. If you need to leave, you're welcome to do, we won't be offended. If you'd like to stay, we only have one more thing on our agenda, so you're also welcome to stay, but we'll leave it up to you. We're going to take about a 5-minute break.
We have board
So-
comment. That'll take a while. All in favor? Right?
Don't run, Chuck. You were kind enough to do all of the motions for everybody that was hired.
Have I did that for the last 6 years?
Yeah, but that was, I still have to thank you.
I don't think I ever thought that in our, handling interviews and all. I just hope we can keep them long term. There's a lot of turnover in schools.
We are back in session.
Quick question, since we're still talking about hirings. Jim, and if you can answer, so a lot of the folks were brought in here with master's degrees and then some with seniority. I know the one lady said something about 28 years. Where did we throw them in at steps and lanes? Where they actually belong or a happy medium?
So it's one of the unique times right now where we try to hold harmless when staff come over, especially when you're talking about speech pathology and special education. It's so challenging for those candidates. So we try to honor their years of service and get them close to where they're coming from. That's the goal. And obviously, it's much cheaper if you're getting someone fresh out of college, and we've got to find balance of that. But it gets more challenging when we're looking at speech path and special ed. Yes, it's a great question.
And just to be clear, I have no problem with it. I think it's fine. We bring them in where they belong. I mean, if that's where they're at, it's where they're at. Especially from the education standpoint.
It used to be, when I entered into the profession, when you went to a district, you were locked in there because they could choose from any college. There were lots of candidates. There were 200 candidates for every position that opened. It's not like that right now. There's a shortage, and a lot of districts are competing with each other.
Just curious, thank you.
Good question, though. All right. Picking up where we left off, we have the approval of the Swartz Creek Community Schools student handbooks. And who's going to lead that?
So basically, so we've presented the handbooks and the changes in here. I guess what I'd like to do is open it up to questions you might have. I would like to just say that we've taken a little bit longer with this. School starts in a week, and we'd like to start with the handbook. But, obviously, we'll do what we can to make this happen, and then any changes in the future, we're more than happy to process those early and get them. We can actually get them to you earlier, potentially. So with that, just kind of open up. If we can answer questions, I do have our high school principal, middle school principal here to also answer questions about handbook changes.
You want to start with the athletic handbook? Does it matter?
It doesn't matter.
If I'm reading that correctly, our GPA is not 2.0?
Correct. I believe it was last year where the board voted to remove the 2.0 GPA, but required the passing of all academic classes.
And where did that suggestion come from, the board or from administrators?
That would have been from administrators.
Well, I would like to see that go back to the 2.0, and you still can't fail any classes for the simple fact we're about education. And if a kid walks out of here with 6 D minuses, I'm not sure that's a pat on the back to the child or to us. So I guess what are we weighing, their education or athletics? But that was something I noticed, and I would like to see not only go to the 2.0, but they shouldn't be failing a class. That's just my opinion. I don't know how anyone else feels, and I don't know how you folks voted on it, so I'll leave it there and you guys can pipe up.
I agree. Jim, can you talk a little bit more about the impact of the passing of all 6 academic classes, what we saw? I don't know if you're familiar with that. Oh, Ken disappeared. Sorry. I don't know if you were familiar with how that affected the kids' attendance and performance, but
We brought lots of information when we were making this decision, and I can say that the board was split. It was not a 7-0 vote. It was more rigorous for us at the time to require, especially in comparison with the county, for us to require students to pass classes than it was. We didn't want them to fail any course, and so our goal was that all students graduate. To graduate, you have to pass your courses. So our focus was on passing of the classes rather than the GPA. We can entertain the idea and get some information about what the impact would be of moving forward with both. I would say if we do that, we would be the most stringent in the Flint Metro League. And while it may be more beneficial academically, it will be more challenging for the athletic program. But we can entertain, and if we need to bring information about this again, that might be a worthwhile venture.
Well, I would like to settle it. Like,
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Can we settle it today, that needs to be changed back, the 2.0? Because I get it, it might be harder on the athletic department, but again, student athletes, we're here to educate. That's a,
How is it harder on the athletic department? Because how is it harder on them?
It's not harder on the athletic department, it would be harder for students to participate in sports. And so
Oh, okay.
then you're talking about not being able to field teams if you don't have enough students to play.
Well, then we just
The
have to
competitive
pass.
piece. Yeah, I'm not, again, I would recommend that we bring, is that me or you, or it might be both of us on at the same time? I would recommend that we bring some information to share with you before we just blindly take a vote on it. I think it'd be important to do.
I don't think it's that complicated. Like, I don't think it's yeah.
Nothing is
Where you need to look at, yeah, anything but
nothing.
how students perform academically when it's school.
I would personally like to see statistics. You
Yeah.
know, how many athletes are failing and playing.
And I would say,
Look, it's our job to make sure that they get better, and to me, that's like, it's like giving
I
a
still want to
reward
see
to somebody.
stats and do the homework.
yes, that's it. Nothing is complicated, but making the right decision is complicated.
I don't think it's that difficult. It's a matter of, if you have to do your homework to play sports, you have to participate in class, you have to, pass.
And if the students need to do that, then as a board, we need to do that too. Do our homework.
Okay.
Really?
Oh, wait,
So,
wait.
I have.
We have to do our homework?
Okay.
Okay.
I listened to the last.
Who was here at the last month's meeting when I presented the grade point average and our district's performance compared to other districts? What more do you need to hear? We were a failing school district. I told everybody I was embarrassed about it, and I voted against that. I even recommended, okay, let's drop it down to 1.8. Let me tell you something. If we're going to let kids have a 1.5, 1.7 to play athletics, I'd rather have them have a grade point average, and maybe they'll strive better to have a good grade point average. They'll be better at attendance, and once they leave Swartz Creek High School and they got to play sports, and they can't have a 2.0 grade point average and pass all their classes, then they're not even going to make it in college. Our job is to prepare people for college. Our job is to educate, safety, and be fiduciary responsible. I keep saying that. I voted no against it last time, and I even said, I'll compromise, but nobody wanted to compromise. And what was my compromise? You know what? Can't we drop it down to 1.8 then, or 1.7, which is still ridiculous? And everybody outvoted me on it. I voted on it. I believe, Kim, you might have voted against that, correct?
I think I did.
Yeah, well, I know you did. I remember it. You voted against it, I voted against it, and Jack Sayer voted against it. It was a split vote, and it was very contentious. And I'm not talking loud to be mean or accusatory to anybody, but I take this pretty serious. I'm passionate. We're the Board of Education, and everybody's like, oh, let's review it, let's do this, let's do that. And, people can get a D- and they can still pass. Okay, if that's what you want for Swartz Creek, then you need to resign and get off this board. This is the Board of Education. This isn't the board of what's happening now and all this other crap. What is wrong with everybody? Oh, we're going to let them pass with a D-?
What was the grade point average?
It was 2.0. They had to pass 4 grades. Ken's making it a little stronger. At 2.0, they have to pass 6 grades.
All grades.
Yeah.
They have to pass all classes.
Yeah. And you know what? Maybe Ken would flex a little bit on that. Because I'm ready to make a motion on it, because that's a thorn in my shoe.
Yeah.
And then I bring you guys, I did all that data research, and I bring you that, and we're the lowest school district. I showed you all school data, and oh, by the way, Michelle, I went to US News too, because I went and researched those, and it verifies the data that I produced a month and a half ago. So it's not, I went to every site I can go, because I'm trying to find a way for us to be out of that and not in it.
And US News says the same thing, so I've been to 4 sites now. And I don't know, I'm glad some of the principals and teachers are here, because you know what? People better be accountable. I can't have 12,000 people come to my gun range and 10,000 fail, you know what I mean, or everybody's held to different standards, but schools, and everybody says, well, schools are having a hard time. And that's why I pulled the data from all the other districts, and they're not having a hard time, and I'm not gonna accept a low grade point average for our students. It's an embarrassment. It's an embarrassment. And anybody on this board should be embarrassed. They should say, no, we want our kids to have a 2.0 grade point average and be able to play sports. If they can't do those 2 things, how are they gonna succeed in life? I can't do 2 things at once? I can't get good grades and play sports? Well, we're gonna let you have a .07 as long as you pass all classes, Johnny. That's pathetic. And then we expect them to go to college, and everybody accuses them of going to college. That's all bull. It's all bull. So I make a motion, we have a 2.0 grade point average with at least, I'm gonna make a compromise of 5 classes. Maybe because I was always weak in one class, and I might be slipping a little bit.
Well, what if it's a graduation requirement?
You're not part of this conversation, ma'am, okay? Until the grades come back up, please don't talk to me.
A question.
She's a principal. Hey, what's the problem, Jim?
We're not going to allow our high school principal to have any input on the decision you're about to make?
No, I'm not, because the grades keep going down.
All right, first off, the yelling needs to stop.
I talk loud.
Oh, no,
You know
it's
I
not
can't
an
hear.
excuse. It needs to stop.
Jamie,
No, it doesn't need to stop. I made a motion.
No, okay.
Jamie, would you be willing to come up and talk? Jilly?
I would support
Hey,
that.
Chuck, I will do a compromise. They have to at least pass their 4 core classes. I guess my question is this, as education, if we go back, we'll go back to, and I gotta throw your name in there, Michelle, but it's not at you. But you go back to our graph, we went below that 50% in 2017. And correct me, because I might, that was 3rd through 8th grade, correct? What that scoring is 3rd through 8th grade?
Presentation, yes.
Okay,
It was 3rd
so-
through 8th.
So you take those kids that would have been in 8th grade, but let's back up and take the kids, let's take them back down to 5th grade. Those kids are now in high school, and you're seeing you just lowered the standard so they could continue to play sports. So let's split the baby in there, 6th grade. I don't care, wherever you want to split that. Those are the kids that you went last year, apparently, I don't know, apparently, and you lowered the standard because now those as the cliche goes, those chickens came home to roost. Those kids that were starting to dip in 2017 and 2018 and 2019 are now in the high school. And so we're going to lower our standards. I would just say this. If someone goes and pulls 10 people on a street corner and ask them, do you think you should be able to play sports if you're failing a class or if you don't have at least a C, you just got to show up. You pretty much show up and do okay on a test, you got a C. Should they be able to play sports? And I think those people go, no. I mean, and if you, and as an educator, I'm not even a smart guy, man. I mean, I'm sitting here with an associate's degree. I never had a GPA lower than about a 3.2 to a 3.4. I don't know, when I seen that, I'm dumbfounded by that. I don't know how anybody with a straight face could present it, and if you can answer it quickly, Jim, because I don't want to put you on the spot. What is possibly the good reason for this?
Ensuring that all kids pass their classes and they graduate.
Well, if we don't make them pass all the classes, well, how are they gonna graduate? Because they would have missing credits.
No, they have to, yes, they have to pass all, and that's our goal
We
is
just-
graduation.
Okay.
We wanted them to pass.
But we just want a higher
not
GPA,
caring.
is what we're
Yeah.
discussing.
I understand, what you're saying and what you want.
Then I'm going to pose the other side of that question. So as a district, as building principals and as administrators, we're satisfied to say that a child graduates here with a D. You know, I mean, that's a joke in college, Ds to get degrees. That's a running joke. But we want to hand out high school diplomas here and be proud of our district when a kid's graduating with a 1.0. I mean, this is the question that should be asked. What we're doing is we're concerning ourselves with, we're worried about our graduation rate. Did little Billy and little Susie graduate? It was a D, but they graduated. So we can be proud of ourselves. The administrators, the teachers, everybody can pat themselves on the back. Yeah, well, we only had 3 kids fail this year or didn't get their diplomas. Well, if we're so proud of that, then why don't we run a billboard on I-69 and put how many kids graduated with a 1.0 and see how many people want to come. Well, I'll tell you what's going to come. Any kid that sucks at school and wants to play sports.
Yeah.
That's who's going to come here.
Adding the 2.0, I'm not opposed to that. We want our kids to pass, and whether you put a 2.0 GPA on there, they still pass with a D if they pass all their classes. It doesn't change that expectation. Every school in the state of Michigan can pass with a D. The question is, are we then removing what might motivate some kids? I was motivated by sports, and that's why I passed high school. It's literally, I'm a
product
of that.
Right,
I was motivated by a mother.
and teammates. Teammates can be motivating too.
Absolutely.
Yeah, get the team together, do your homework before practice.
If the student's that good at sports, won't his fellow students help him? Because that's what happened at our high school.
Right.
I don't understand that we're gonna drop it down. And I'm willing to compromise, because on the first vote, I was willing to compromise then, Jim. I was willing to come down to, and I don't like it. It's just, to me, it's sour grapes, but like a 1.85, 1.9, something. So if a kid's at a C minus, he can still play sports. I don't wanna do that. But we're not preparing kids for life if we're not even having those expectations here, because then they're 18, they leave here. How many colleges are gonna take somebody with that type of average?
The Board of Education.
I don't know that. Can you guys answer me that?
No, they have to go to junior college.
Aren't we preparing them for more education, higher education?
Yeah, well, we're
I'm not saying you're against it, because you really didn't have an opinion last year. You were kind of like, we're gonna go with what the board goes. And I wasn't even expecting Ken to bring this up now. It hit a nerve with me, because I don't know how, I don't know what's more important, sports or education.
So can I say a couple things?
Sure.
We talked last year about the importance of sports in some kids' lives and getting them to school. And Mrs. Damon, I know you don't want to come up and talk, but I think you were part of that conversation too. And, that's a factor.
Nobody's disagreeing with you on that, but we're a team, we're a small community. We all help each other.
We scream at our teammates?
They can help their teammates. We're still talking up here.
So what?
Gavel at everybody else. I just want
Yeah,
to.
you bang the gavel to everybody else. That's why I asked that.
Yeah.
People don't like the way I talk, because I talk loud.
But you're gonna let us
Please don't look at me like that, Miss Jamie. I talk loud in every meeting I've ever been at. I can't hear, I own a gun range, I've been a policeman for 40 years. Please, you guys all got PhDs and you can't figure that out?
Okay, Jim,
Let's move on. Let's put the vote. I made a motion.
I second the motion.
Don't want to compromise, we'll make the motion. Motion's on the floor.
And I apologize, can you repeat it?
Yes, can you repeat the motion?
I apologize, I missed it.
I said that our kids have to have a 2.0 grade point average, and they have to pass at least 5 classes.
Support.
I don't care if it's more stringent than the other class, my business ain't the other schools and Metro and this and that.
all right, any comments or questions? And I have one or two. Jim?
Discussion on the motion.
How critical is this in terms of having to be sent out with the change right now versus getting data back?
So school students come back next week. Sporting programs are going on right now. I can go, like, I'm
Good,
not
it's the
saying.
start of the school year. I don't get it.
I'm
Why?
not saying that your ideas are not good here. I believe what we had before was passing 5 classes, a 2.0 GPA. I don't think it's a bad thing. I guess my concern is that we're rushing this through without listening to our athletic director and our high school principal and getting feedback on this. That's my only concern here, but I'm not opposed to what you
So
say.
there's a motion on the floor that's open.
There's still discussion on it, he can, and the discussion is,
I don't
we
wanna
looked at the grade
argue
point, we
about
looked
it.
at our different facilities, our different sites that show that our grade point average isn't improving. I don't get it. We've been doing this for a year and a half, and have they went up considerably? Michelle Paul said, well, we don't have the 2025 data, but we had 2022, we had 2017 to 24.
So I think we should bring Adrian in and ask her that question and get that data that.
Well, if she says, geez, I can't field the football team, what's our goal here? To field a football team?
No.
Or to have?
Our goal is to be similar to our county. And our county, right now, we have, with the passing of the 6 classes, we're more stringent than most of our county. Like, we want to encourage students to do the best that they can do with these classes. We're stringent now. So.
No.
I wouldn't be opposed to listening to Adrian.
What?
I'm curious, is she gonna give us some information, like how many of these kids, fell into that group where they were passing all classes but had a very low GPA?
Here's my thing. If we postpone it, then there's gonna be a reason to postpone it until next year. And speaking from experience, sitting on this board, everything that I bring up, asking for attention, it gets postponed and it never gets done. So I'm sick of things sitting on the back burner where they go to,
Is it 2 point, I think I might have asked this before, but is it 2.0 a D? Are those, is that a D average or a C?
C.
Two is a C.
If you go 1.85, 1.9, it's, for all intents and purposes, a C minus.
I'm not a big plus minus guy.
I know, but I'm just
Either
saying.
get an A or a B or C or D. We're splitting hairs at pluses and minuses.
Okay.
That's just my 2 cents. I guess my question.
I want to give the kids a chance, but if they can attain a C minus or something, it's something.
What's Adrian gonna tell us
Yeah.
that, again, I'm only looking at this from one viewpoint. Would you put 30 of your students graduated with a D on a billboard or on an advertisement to come to this school district? That's my question. I don't know how anyone in education could possibly think that is a glowing, something to glow on a billboard for your school. That baffles me. I don't know what she can tell me. I mean, if she tells me you're not gonna have a football team, well, that would be a tragedy, but I don't think that's the case either. I would be.
They may make the kids work harder to get that C,
No,
Ken.
I don't know
If they really want to play the sports, right?
But what do we tell kids? What do we tell kids if they get caught smoking weed or something? Well, sports are a privilege. You don't just get to play sports. You got to be clean 7/365, 24 days or 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 360. It's a privilege. Unless it's your GPA, then it's a right. No, it's not a right. Anything they do, there was a young lady when my daughter was in high school here, she held up a bottle of open Mike's Hard Lemonade and had a picture taken with it. Zero evidence that she drank any of it. Now, she did possess it. She was removed from 3 POM routines, and they only do 6 or 7, because she held it. No evidence she drank it. She could have just been posing for a picture, and it got put out there, and that's. So if it's a privilege one time, but we're almost saying it's a right another time. If you get a D, you're okay. It's not okay. That's where I'm struggling with this. If a kid's, maybe we should put everyone's GPA on their diploma instead of just congratulations for graduating. And, let employers or everyone else see that. I don't know. I mean, but to me, that's kind of embarrassing.
These are the future, like, when I get older, these are the future doctors and lawyers, and that kind of scares me. That they can get through high school and on to college with.
They're not gonna go to college if they don't have at least a 2.0.
That's what I think too,
Exactly.
but every school in the state
who's to say that?
passed with a D. Every school, it's not Swartz Creek advertising it. Every school in the state, you can get a D. You can still go to college.
So we would be setting ours above, and we'd be
You can.
opening
Yeah,
more
you can
up.
still go to college with a D. You're gonna go to community college.
Right.
You're not enrolling at MSU anytime soon.
Yeah, then you're gonna
But-
learn the hard way how hard it is to
Right,
get it.
but I mean, you're gonna, that's neither here nor there.
I was pulling some data up here, but it says that most of them are 2.0 in our county. Is that not true, Jim?
I wouldn't know that. I'd have to research it. I know a lot of our teams are recognized for academic achievement, academic performance. So for most of our students, it's not gonna be
Not gonna be an issue.
a big issue. Yeah.
Oh, well then, okay.
But for students that, like me, I mean, that was my motivation, was sports.
What was your grade point average?
Just barely, it was barely 2.0.
You just said that we were meeting the same standards as everyone in our district, and now you don't know what the standards of everyone in our
I
district are,
don't,
though.
he's asking about county, are you asking about?
I'm asking about the county, because I'm going on the
Yes.
website here to see what it is. And what I'm seeing is most everybody's 2.0 with the four grades like we had.
We had that comparison from Adrian, where she brought the whole county together and what they were doing. That was part of our decision, and I would love for you guys to see that before you make the decision and give her an opportunity to speak to it.
I'm telling you,
Oh, okay.
I do. I do.
I don't, we can come back and amend the handbook. So.
But will we?
Huh?
But will?
No, I say we vote on what we're doing tonight, and we come to a conclusion and put something in place tonight, and then if she wants to come in, but again, I'm gonna quote a superintendent that used to be here, is, if I ask the right question, I can make the data say whatever I want.
Right.
So, if you want, I'll pick up the phone tomorrow and I'll call all the metro schools and see what I mean, I bet you can send out a big email tomorrow and hit every one of them. Or Adrian can, and within an hour, she'll get a response back. And I can only speak for one, so I'm not even gonna bring it up because it's only one building, or one school district, so it doesn't matter.
So Ken, are you suggesting then that we hold off on making any changes tonight?
No, I say we go ahead with the motion on the floor. We can go back and amend it. There's nothing that stops us from changing it later, but there's nothing she can come in and tell me that's gonna change my mind, but I'm only one vote. But there's nothing she's gonna tell me to change my mind. It's like I said, I went to school and got good grades. When we're sitting here talking about attendance, in 5th and 6th grade, I had perfect attendance. And the only reason I didn't have perfect attendance in other years was because teachers, apparently I didn't get to my seat on time or something, and I got marked absent. But I'm a firm believer in going to school, like the one lady up here said. I'm a firm believer in having a decent grade. You don't have to be a genius, but for crying out loud, a 2.0 is not hard to ask for. And I don't care about how hard something is, or someone doesn't like this class or that class.
I had a 3.87.
I went to school with some great athletes that had terrible GPAs. In high school, we took state 3 years in a row in basketball. But there was some not so great GPAs there. I don't know.
So Nikki, can you share with us how the motion is recorded to the best of your ability?
Sure, so I have a motion that the 2.0 GPA and to pass 5 classes to be eligible for sports. I wrote down that the motion was moved by Chuck and supported by Autumn, I believe, seconded?
Yeah.
I have a question. Does that say pass 5 classes?
Yes.
That's what was stated.
But sometimes there's more than 5.
Yeah.
There's 6
Whereas
classes.
it used to be two O and 4 classes. And so Chuck found a happy medium, because I said 6. They had to pass all 6.
Okay, so we're letting them not pass a class now?
That's the motion, yes. Chuck?
I'm not okay with that, but, I mean, I guess it's just,
Let's burn what, okay.
I maybe could compromise on that.
Well, what would be your compromise, Kim?
Well, I think they have to, I'm not okay with letting them fail a class. I think we should add
The 6th class back in? You-
whatever, how many ever classes they have, they need to
They
pass.
have up to 6.
Most have 6.
And
Once they complete their credits, so some will go down to 5, don't they, Jim? If they've got all their credits, they don't have to take 6 classes.
Yeah, they have to have a full schedule. though.
Yes.
Yeah, Senior year, there's some room in there, but you need to have 6 each semester.
How many?
6 total.
Yeah.
I don't know, I guess I could just see some kids saying, well, I'm just gonna blow that class off because I don't need it anyway, you know?
Well, you still gotta have a 2.0, right? But can you fail a class?
I
Oh, yeah,
can-
yeah,
I
you
can-
could. Okay, I'm
We can amend the
sorry.
motion.
Yeah, you're right.
I'm trying to have a
I'll see
compromise from what was
what
done
does
last year.
majority want? Do you guys want to have the 2.0 and they can fail one class?
That was my motion, yes.
Okay, I just want them to not fail a class,
Okay.
but,
Well, we could change it to where they don't fail a class, but
So passing and graduating requires all classes to be passed, correct? Or they're in credit?
with a 2.0 GPA.
So they have to have, they get an opportunity for 24 credits, they have to have 23 credits, so they can mess up in one class.
Okay. So are we gonna vote on the motion that Chuck proposed? Because that was on the
Thought I
floor.
heard somebody say they would revise the motion. Was that you, Chuck?
Well, it's gonna be more stringent.
if the majority's okay, I don't know how everybody's gonna vote, but if everybody thinks 2.0 and failing one class.
They're probably gonna bring that class in.
Yeah.
It may not be with a 2.0, it could be a 0.5. But their grade point average will be 2.0.
I can compromise with that.
If somebody on the semester is failing one of the classes, they shouldn't be excluded from sports. Their teammates say, hey, we'll help you bring up your ELA, or we'll help you bring up your science class. We'll help you bring up your geography or government class.
When it was a few years, well,
I just vote on it.
Yeah.
2006, 7, because our hockey coach and an athletic director couldn't make 2 boys come to school. At that time, you had to attend at least 3 classes a day, or the day of a game or practice. So instead of addressing the 2 young men, the very next year, if you missed an hour or more, your parents had to bring in a doctor's slip for you to play or participate in a practice. Well, that's the most ridiculous thing I ever heard. And when I met with Jeff Pratt over this same topic, I said, in February, my son had missed 5 hours of school. Not 5 days, 5 hours. And I said, and you're going to argue with me that I said, your staff doesn't even have attendance that good. I bet one of them took a vacation day. But my son's not taking a vacation day. I kept him home one day because he'd thrown up all day Sunday, and I said, no. Just park it. Monday was hockey practice. I kept him home for 2 hours, and he went to school. I had to call my doctor and arrange for a doctor's slip to satisfy the athletic department in this handbook. Again, those sports here are a privilege. Remember that. Yes, that's sarcasm. They're a privilege. He missed 2 hours of school because he'd been sick all day Sunday, and I had to get a doctor's slip. We eventually changed that back. But maybe we should address the 2 children that didn't want to come to school on the days they had hockey games, but that was too difficult. The coach didn't want to be a coach, and the athletic director didn't want to be an athletic director. I would have addressed those boys. I coached lacrosse here for 4 years. You either had a GPA or you didn't. Go sit on the bench. Video a game for us. It's that simple. You know, this isn't about coddling people. And that's all we're doing. We just dummied that system down so that you could leave here with a D. I don't think that's very good. That's all. I'll be done if you're ready to go.
What do I think? I still think we have to understand what the impact of this was last year. I've heard anecdotally, I don't have the hard data in front of me, that by having to pass all 6 classes, kids came to school, they applied themselves, they may not have been 4-point students, even 2.5 students. I can't ask Mrs. Damon to come up here if she doesn't choose to, but I know she has some experience
The reason
there.
why I said that is because you let some people come up and talk and some you don't. We got to treat everybody the same out in that audience. That's my problem with somebody coming up here.
Well, Mrs. Damon is the principal of the high
Can we just
school.
vote on the motion?
So that's why I'm saying, if she is the principal of the high school, if you need to ask questions, much like we've asked Michelle
But you've had other people in the audience that you don't want to talk, not to talk, and I know she's an employee. It doesn't matter. Everybody's important.
At this given moment, she is a spectator like everybody else.
So let's go forward with the
No, hang on.
revised.
So this guy here in the blue shirt, his opinion doesn't matter right now if he wanted to say something? No, you sit back down, sir. Well, what? Everybody out there is a spectator, including Derek. And he's an administrator in that central office. But he needs to wait on public comments. Or if we want to refer a question to him, Mr. Bouchon, that's fine, but that's not what happened. She raised her hand, she stood up and started talking. The other day, you yelled at a lady over here that was out of order. The out of order is out of order.
Right. That was my issue. I don't have any disrespect.
So let's go back to the motion that's on the table. Are we going to change it? Are we going to proceed or not?
Proceed.
Proceed. It's been seconded. It's been discussed. Listen.
I personally, I wasn't on the board last year, right? So I didn't see the data that you guys saw. I think that sports is a privilege? Absolutely. Do I agree? Yes, but I think that voting right now is ridiculous if we don't have the data in front of us. That's my personal take on it.
Well, and I gave you some data last month about how low our grade point average is here and how we're underperforming with other schools. And I went online, and some of the school districts, and Jim, I'm not going to hold Jim accountable to it because he doesn't know. It's a snap question. It's not a trick question. But I went online, and some of the districts are saying that they have a 2.0 with what we had, the 4 grade. He's saying that we're the most stringent. I don't know if that to be true or not, Jim. And you don't really, you said it was, but I don't know if that's true.
Yeah, I just used the data last year that we presented when we went through this conversation. And that's what I would like you to see, especially we have new board members. If you're going to make this decision, at least look at that data before making the decision. Again, we were 5 classes, 2.0 GPA. It's not that I'm opposed to this.
Yeah.
It's just I hate the idea of us pressing forward as a board
I'm on the board
without
for
taking our
Swartz
experts
Creek.
and having our experts come forward and talk to us about the comparisons. That's all.
Swartz Creek is the district that I'm on the board of. So, and that's who I care about.
Yes.
I get it. If it works for other schools, if it doesn't, okay, we got a whole different dynamic.
What are we looking to compare, Jim?
What all the other districts are doing and where we fall in line with them. I mean, if it's our goal, I mean, why not vote for 4.0 or 3.0? I mean, our goal is to get kids to pass all classes. And obviously, we want them to perform better than a 1.0. And so I'm just asking, let's bring that data sheet so we can compare to Genesee County, Flint Metro League, and then let's have Adrian talk about it. We've instituted this now for a full year. So we should be able to get you some data on, did it improve students? Did students come to school more? Did they pass more classes? I'm just asking that we take into account the people that we hire to do this.
And that's why I'm passionate and upset about it, because we had one lady in here, our curriculum director, say we have a 25 to 32% absenteeism rate. It's not working. I mean, it's like I'm interviewing a suspect, and you're telling me one thing, you weren't here, but I got you on video because I've had data for the last year saying, well, our grades are down compared to other districts, after I showed it to everybody. Our absenteeism rate's bad. So what's the argument saying that nothing?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
She didn't present absentee about our athletes.
No.
She presented overall. And
Yes,
so-
you did. That's
so
correct.
if we had an opportunity to see, did our students show up to class more as a result of this? That would be great data to look and make a decision. And that's,
I bet if we really chase data, I'll bet you during the season, the athlete's attendance is better than when they're out of season. And they're not gonna play something the next, hypothetically, if you're playing football in the fall and they're gonna do nothing in the winter sports, I would be willing to bet their attendance is better during the fall than it is during the winter sports. Again, we're gonna conform to whatever's there. I can't see what she would bring, and I'm just speaking for myself, what she would bring. My problem with this is you're willing to say it's okay to graduate with a D. I don't think that's acceptable.
I agree, but in the state of Michigan, you can graduate with it.
Sure. Well, I mean,
I'm not saying it's okay, and I'm not saying we settle for that. I'm just saying, we don't advertise that. We don't tell kids, yeah, you get a D and we don't do that.
well, let's get rid of the valedictorian then.
I'm sorry?
Let's get rid of the valedictorian and salutatorian. Why would we have that? I mean,
Because we hold learning and high standards. I mean, that's why we have that.
you just made my point.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with that. That's why we want them,
You just made my point.
that's why I want them all to pass all their classes.
We hold learning at high standards, so we're gonna acknowledge the children that do great or well. I mean, the top 10 or top whatever you have. But then in the next breath, we're like, man, it's okay though if they graduate with Ds. I don't, that's my concern with this, is we're lowering a standard for children. And we're supposed to be educating children.
Hence my original argument, or point, so I don't know, but I point of order, call it vote. It's been talked and discussed.
All right, Chuck, have we made any changes?
I really want to, Carrie, but it scares me to. I mean, I want to help everybody out, but I don't think 2.0 is unreasonable. And like I said, a kid screws up a grade, I'm back to the same thing. I screwed up a grade. And people helped me to pass it the next semester. And I worked, and I played sports. I don't, call the vote.
The motion is for 2.0 GPA and to be passing 5 classes to maintain eligibility for sports.
Any other comments or questions? We have a second, I'm sorry, Nikki.
Autumn
So long.
seconded.
Autumn,
Autumn seconded it.
all right. Other comments or questions? Nikki, can you do roll call, please?
Autumn Henry.
Yes.
Ken Engel. Alyssa Bouchard.
I honestly don't know. Can I pass right now and come back to me?
Chuck Melkey.
Yes.
Carrie Germain.
No.
Kim Winter.
Yes.
Alyssa.
Yes.
5 yeses.
My objection, just so my board members know, is that I think that having all 6 classes be required to pass last year was beneficial. I guess we can revisit this once we have some data, because I'm going to ask for some data to be provided at some point. Okay?
Carrie, if there's overwhelming data, I'm not opposed to it neither.
Okay.
I've been very flexible on this board with a lot of things I don't agree with in the spirit of agreement and what's best for our students at this district. We have educators here. These kids are supposed to be educated, and we should not be compromising that at all. But I'm open. You know, I'm a numbers guy. Show me the data. Thank you. That we saw in the handbook, unfortunately.
So that motion passes. Nikki, did you get that? Okay, thank you. All right. Next, Jim?
Any other questions with the athletic handbook?
No other questions on the athletic handbook? Any others? Any other questions on any other handbooks?
There was a lot of discontent on the virtual learning center. There was a young lady in here last month. Was that changed, Jim? Or was that, you fixed that somehow for them?
It's not fixed currently, so we would have to make the decision in January to go back to allowing VLC. And currently, it would have to state if you go to VLC, you can't participate in sports program. But we do absolutely have our counselors ready, and it's in the high school handbook that if you'd like to play sports at the high school, you can use Michigan virtual classes. So there is a fix for it, but it's not yet as easy as pulling the VLC back into the sporting program. That decision can be made in January.
It's like it could have been made during the handbook when I asked about it in January. This is what I mean
You know,
by
it could have been.
stonewalled.
It could have been. Again, what I would ask is that we take some of the research into account. When we made this decision for VLC to not participate, we had no students who were playing sports at VLC. It was not meant to hurt kids at all. It was meant to help our athletes. If we have kids that want to play, we've made accommodations where we will provide Michigan Virtual University. So we just need data on this. I would say Adrian would like to do a survey of students at the VLC to see if there's interest in sports. If we have students that want to
But
play.
we just talked about how great sports are for kids.
Can I please finish
But
my
again,
thoughts, please?
I'm just saying, it's the same thing over and over, and yet we never see the data like I asked for in January. We never,
We've had one
so it's
person.
empty promises. I don't know what it is, but I'm sick of it.
We've had one person show up with a complaint, and accommodations were made for that person if they wanted to take advantage. I recommend that we do a survey of students there to see if there's interest before we just automatically say, you guys are jumping another division. If we have students at VLC that want to play, that's great, and we'll include them. Sports are important, and they can be motivational. But if we're providing a program and no one's taking advantage of it, and it's hurting the rest of the kids in the program, we should just consider it. I'm asking you to please, let's talk to our people who we hire to do this and give them an opportunity to survey and see if that's in our best interest as a district to move forward. If we'd like to do that, we can do that in January and put it in our VLC handbook that students can play again. If we have students who want to play, I will absolutely advocate that they be in our sporting program.
Except for that one.
No, that one was offered.
Why do we have to wait till January? Is that the cycle?
Yes, that's MHSAA.
Yeah, that's our cycle, right?
Yes.
Just so I get that right.
Yes, they ask us our enrollment, and then we're placed into the division based on enrollment numbers. Adding VLC would take it, right now we're under 1,000, so that puts us at like Division C. If we add in VLC, that's the extra students that would bump us up a division. It's not a huge deal, but there are, if it comes down to a tie, or if they make the playoffs, the kids that they play. It's just one of those things, like we want to honor and allow our kids to play. Absolutely. I was high school principal. I always allowed access for our VLC students to come to proms and dances. We want them to be involved.
Why was this one kid, there was a lady here, it might have been was it somebody you knew?
Yeah.
And what was the problem with that child? Why couldn't that child play?
Yeah, so.
What was the stipulation why that kid could not play? I still don't understand it. I'm not following this quite
I'm
right.
hesitant to just talk about that situation.
Okay, all right, no, okay, I don't want to talk about a particular kid, okay. All right,
that example.
Yeah, so, and an example like that would be, if we have students who want to play college, NCAA doesn't recognize Apex. So if any student goes to VLC, they play and they take Apex courses, they won't be able to play in college. So our response was that, you know, if you want to play sports, we will allow you to stay on the roster at the high school and sign you up for Michigan virtual classes. They do honor Michigan virtual, so they'd be a student of ours, they'd be online doing that program, and then they would be eligible for NCAA.
Okay.
Any other questions on VLC? Okay. We do have the collective handbooks on the agenda as one, and it looks like we have this particular one we can take as a motion to approve. Can I get a motion for the athletic handbook, for the VLC handbook, I'm sorry. Well, it's on.
The agenda
actually-
says
It says they're
at
all
once.
together, so we're just going to discuss them individually. All right. Any other questions on the VLC? All right, hearing none. Jim, what's next?
We can go to the high school handbook, or do you want me to just open it up for any questions you might have instead of one at a time? Or you have all the change forms, so maybe it'd be easier if you see something you'd like me to address.
Does anybody have specific questions? No? All right. If there are no specific questions on any of the handbooks that are before us, I would entertain a motion for approval. Alyssa? Support?
I have not read them all. I don't, what else? I don't want to hold up the process because we got to have them in place. By what date?
Well,
They need to
kids
go
come back
out.
next week. so-
September, or no,
Yeah.
August 25th or whatever it is.
But
right?
we can revisit anytime you'd like.
Okay, as long as you guarantee me that.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
I'm good with that.
Dave is in charge of our policy meetings, and we can bring this up and talk in policy, and absolutely, and make a list of what you want to change. I want to support what you want me to do, even if I don't agree.
I couldn't read it all because I'm still on this mega site stuff. I got all this mega site stuff I've been researching. I can't, it's like to read this whole book and, all right, I'm going to second your vote.
Okay,
Melissa,
thank
Without
you.
making excuses, is that, but that's the understanding we're having, that when I can, the next couple weeks digest all this stuff.
Maybe we should make a motion just to make sure.
All right.
Yeah. Well, he said it on record. He said that we can revisit it anytime. I just don't want to screw up the kids that are starting.
That's always been true.
Yeah, I've
Yeah,
emailed you with my questions though, and I never got acknowledged,
Well,
so.
Autumn's had some issues with it. She's told me.
So
that.
I got trust issues. I'll be the first to admit that one, especially with how things are being handled
They're-
right now.
Can I have open discussion on it, Carrie? They're
Yes.
saying, Autumn, I'd like your
Yeah.
support on it, on Alyssa's, but that we'll be able to change it.
Yeah.
Because we can't read it. I mean, I can't digest a whole book right here with all this other stuff.
So your motion is to.
To support.
Support?
Yeah.
All right, any other comments or questions? Hearing none, Nikki, can you do roll call, please? Yes.
Chuck Milky,
Yes.
Ken Engel,
Yes.
Kim Winter,
Yes.
Alyssa Bouchard,
Yes.
Autumn Henry,
No,
5 yeses.
Yeah, thank you, everybody. And if you haven't had a chance to go through, please do. These will be going out to families early next week? Okay,
A question, Carrie?
yes.
Is there a certain, we can change these at any meeting as long as it's put on an agenda item? Or do we have to wait for that cycle like the VLC?
So that's a great question. We would collect, we would be discussing to collect for next year, once these are printed and out. I'm sorry.
yeah.
Okay.
Oops.
All right, that's okay. That was my confusion. So we don't put an amendment in the book if we want to change it in October?
I imagine we can do an amendment if we want to do a change. Dave, with policy, what are your thoughts on that? Just never heard of doing it is all.
Well, I mean, nothing's come up in a year that we're like, hey, we got to
Well,
change
that was very
this.
misleading to say that we can review it at any time, we can discuss it at any time.
We can absolutely review to put into
We could,
No one's trying to mislead Autumn.
well,
Dave, can we do addendums?
did you think, is that what you thought he was saying, he was getting
I
at?
thought that we could make,
My assumption is yes. I would have to check. I'm not an authority on it, but.
So if anybody has any concerns, should it go to you, Dave? Or Jim?
Yeah, I
Through
can collect
Okay.
concerns, that's fine.
All right.
Dave, are these are all sent out electronically, correct?
Yeah, we hardly send out any paper copies anymore. We do have them available if people want them, but mostly it's online.
And then as far as communicating to families, if there are changes, would we then just go through the normal channels to communicate to them?
Yes.
Okay.
So they could receive the addendum. They could receive the addendum that way too.
Yeah, and we could change the live, online link.
Okay. Anything else on that before we go forward? Moving forward, we have an opportunity for public comment. For those of you who are in the audience, if you'd like to address the board, please step forward to the podium. State your name clearly for Ms. Mickey down there, and keep your comments to 3 minutes or less, please.
Hi, everyone. Brianne Wilson. I was going to welcome our new teachers, but they went home, probably eagerly preparing for the new year. Chuck, I believe you had expressed a hope that we get to keep them because they seem like a really amazing group, and that we've had some turnover. I would like to give a reminder that I know you're a passionate guy. If they had heard how passionate you were earlier, I would fear that they would wonder, is this the right place for me? I know you're very passionate, but that's very scary for a new teacher. So this is just me. I love that you question things. I love that you have good ideas. Just that would have been scary for them to listen to. And I know we want to keep those guys. As far as the athletic stuff goes, I love that Jim was talking about we can get some extra data and we can look at the school versus our athletes. For all we know, we're talking about like 10 kids that would be in this group that we're talking about. So, and then the other thing I just wanted to point out is when we're talking about what we imagine to be a D student, I think we all have an imagining of what that is, but the teachers in the building know specific D students who have been through really unimaginable things and, we have some amazing community members that come out every night and are supportive and involved, and they don't have that. They don't have those resources and those adults. So I would like to just ask that people be careful before calling some of these students embarrassing. We all know some kids who aren't living up to their potential. We all know some kids who are celebrating a D in something. So let's be kind and let's seek to understand with the data before we make judgment calls against people. Thank you.
Thank you, Brianne.
Good evening. Michelle Paul, Curriculum Director. I have a couple of things. One, with your handbook discussions, I just want us to think about fairness. And you just made a decision, and families, parents, kids, the athletic department, the teachers are all going to act upon that decision that says that students have to have a 2.0, they have to pass 5 classes, however, they may fail one. To revisit that decision and revise it in the middle of a school year would be unfair, in my opinion. I think you have to think about the fact that, all of a sudden you said they could fail a class and they're passing 5, and then at the next board meeting you vote and say, no, you have to be passing 6, and they're all of a sudden ineligible. So that's okay. So I just would urge you, we start school Tuesday. Kids come back, teachers come back, principals are back, and we are taking these handbooks forward and starting our school year. So I love that you're digging into all of this, and I think my suggestion would be that instead of in academic achievement, maybe in the future we review the handbooks as a committee of the whole, because there is so much interest, and start this process much earlier, just because there's all of this interest in all of this. So, these were started months ago, and Mr. Claren, before he retired, had the changes at the ready and things prepared, and things went to the committee, and things have been discussed over the past several meetings. And then each meeting, there are different objections, there's different questions, there's different suggestions that come up. So I would ask that we review those in plenty of time, have a committee of the whole, let everybody make all their changes so that they can get passed and we can run our schools. So my other thought was just that I just did several days of training with our staff, and we talk all about the standards and expectations we have for our students. And those standards and expectations include that we're civil to one another, that we're safe and respectful and responsible, that we have an inclusive environment in our schools and our classrooms that say, students, you can be from all different kinds of opinions, and you can have all kinds of different viewpoints, and we can collectively and collaboratively discuss those in a reasonable manner. But we're not going to be unkind. We're not going to stand by. We're not going to be bystanders. We tell our students all the time, don't be bystanders to bullying. Don't be bystanders. Be upstanders. And sometimes in these meetings, I'm sad to say I've felt like a helpless bystander. And I'm going to start being an upstander. Thank you.
Thank you, Michelle. Anyone else?
So, per usual, I'd like to start out with a little bit about transparency. I think
Excuse me, can you state your name for Nikki?
I'm not going to state my name tonight. I think there are a couple board members that don't feel like transparency should apply to them, specifically Carrie and Andrea. So after Monday's meeting, I asked Carrie to make sure that her and Andrea's meeting notes would be saved because I would be FOIA requesting them. Andrea and Carrie both told me that they did not have to provide their notes and that I had no right to ask for them. FOIA law says otherwise, but this did lead to Andrea ripping up her notes right in front of me. And I guess in an act of defiance, which was disturbing, but also disturbing was Jim and Carrie sitting right next to her and laughing about it. This was a breach of OMA policies and FOIA law, and I think Carrie's responsible to uphold all these as president of the board, and I think you need to try to do a better job at that. But moving on, I've seen a lot of anger from the community when it comes to the sale of Morris, and I think that's coming from a little bit of fear and the fear of the unknown. A lot of people don't know what to think about this, about selling Morris, because of the information that we struggle for. I just wonder, has the board thought about publishing the documents, publishing the purchase agreements, maybe having a portal that people could access where they could look at some and get the truth for themselves? I think it would help put the community's mind at ease and let them see what is or isn't being offered officially. I'd also like to address the sale of Morris. Kim, I think you were the first to publicly bring it up about waiting for a buyer and confirmation of a site plan, which I think is one of the best ideas we've had. sorry. To add to that, it would be my suggestion to cut Tyler's group out of any negotiations and deal directly with the buyers. They would never want the bad publicity of operating a huge industrial facility with an elementary school in its shadow. And MLive reported that Sandisk was going to build a $55 billion facility. So I think in the grand scheme of things, it's 50, 60, $70 million demand for Moorish is a drop in the bucket for these guys. There's no need to include Tyler and line his pockets with our tax dollars. And so I didn't agree with Andrea when she said this last week, but she so eloquently said that this is just a business decision, and that's what you guys need to focus on. But I think if that were true, there would not be a single house left on the microsite property. We know that Tyler's group is paying families 4 times or more what their homes are worth. And any smart business person would jump at the opportunity, because these families will never see that kind of offer again. And yet they refuse to sell their houses because it's not about a business decision to them. It's about their lives, it's about their history, and it's about their futures. And for Andrea to boil everything down to a smart business decision, I thought was highly insensitive. And maybe more or less showed her true colors. And maybe she's a real estate agent, and she has a hard time seeing anything but possible dollar signs when families start moving and buying and selling their homes. I hope I'm wrong, but I think I have a pretty good idea of which way Andrea will vote on the sale of Moorish. After all, she did tell everyone in an open meeting that she was losing money because of the microsite. Maybe selling Moorish will help her recoup some of her losses. And then real quick on the school of choice, which is costing us millions every year. If we discontinue school of choice, would we need a huge new elementary school if more sells? I'd like to, I know numbers have been discussed but never given to us. Like, what is school of choice costing us? And maybe you guys could crunch those numbers in your subcommittee groups and maybe let us know what it's actually costing the district and what impact canceling school of choice would have.
Anyone else?
Jenny Walgast. Also, I can have it coming up every meeting. You guys will get sick of me eventually. I just wanted to add a comment about the discussion about the athletics and stuff like that. I heard the comment a couple times from a couple different people that, just basically around, we're preparing them for college and things like that. And I know that some of the people, I heard people objecting because not everybody does go to college. And so I would argue that as well. But the thing is we are preparing them for being an adult. I tell my daughter all the time that that's my job, is to make sure she's a successful adult. All the other stuff is nice. It's great that she gets good grades. It's great all the activities she participates in. But at the end of the day, my responsibility to her is to make sure she's a productive adult and she can do what she needs to do to be an adult on her own. So by telling these kids, you can, we'll drop the grade point average for you. We'll drop the class requirements or whatever. You're not teaching them to be responsible adults. You're teaching them that, well, if you can't make it, we'll just lower the bar. And so I'm very happy to see that you guys are changing that back and making that more strict, because their job, and I tell my daughter this too, her job right now is school. These kids that are all in school, their job is school. They might have extracurriculars or whatever, but those are extra. So yeah, they might be coming to school for sports or whatever. Then that's their motivation to get better grades. You don't drop the bar because they can't meet it. You keep the bar where it needs to be. Because when they get out in the real world, people aren't going to drop the bar for them. They're going to have to meet that. And if they don't, they're not going to be successful. They're not going to be able to feed themselves, pay rent, things like that. So you're not doing them any favors by dropping the bar. And again, I don't know what data would tell you that it's okay to drop the bar. If we lose some students, good, it gives an opportunity to other students that are making their grades to participate on those teams. And So it just leaves more room for everybody else. So I'm glad that you made that decision. I think that it will help motivate some of these kids that sports is their motivation to actually get those grades and pass those classes, because if they don't, they can't do the thing that they really want to do. So, thank you.
Thanks, Jenny. Anyone else? All right.
I wasn't going to present this tonight, but it was brought up again. So I did want to say that I keep hearing over and over again.
I'm sorry. I just got to speak up because I told myself I got to do this. I thought they were only allowed to speak publicly for 3 minutes. Otherwise, are you saying everybody can get up and have a second and third turn?
We've had people get back up and speak again.
No, when?
That's fine.
We have.
No.
I was going to try to answer. No, it's fine.
Michelle,
I was
can
going
you
to try
share
to
whatever it is
answer.
that you're going to share,
In
the
spite of
academic
all.
achievement next week?
No, I
That's
don't,
not how it
I do not want to violate board policy,
Thank
unlike
you.
the previous speaker who refused to give his name when that is clearly the board policy for,
Okay.
that someone has to
Okay.
identify themselves, so.
All right, Michelle,
sorry
I
about
look
that.
forward to hearing from you next week at the other meeting. All right, anyone else? All right, hearing no or none, let's move on to comments and questions from the board.
Okay.
Well, sorry, Michelle. I don't mean to be a stickler, but rules are important. I don't.
just trying to bring some data.
Yeah, I get it, but
Comments or questions from the board?
I just have one comment. I know that everybody isn't happy that we raised that GPA to 2.0, but I kind of feel like every kid doesn't go to college, but as Jennifer said, nobody's going to lower the bar for these kids when they get out in the real world. And they're going to have to learn learn earlier than later, that's all I had to say.
Thanks, Kim. Anyone else?
Yes. A couple things. Little feedback to you, Michelle, reference to handbooks. In the two different times I've served on the board, and I'm not saying that's why it was done, but I don't believe we got the handbooks the last meeting. So if Kevin had them done that far ahead of time, maybe we could have got them back in June or.
We did.
I didn't. And that I understand, but that used to be some other superintendent's path of, like, we got to get this done because it's going to take place next week. So, from where I'm sitting, and I know I'm late to the game. I didn't really cause that. Follow up on, I got a hold of Brian Begole and I got a hold of Mike Mueller, who are the two representatives. Mr. Begole has the area where Morris sits, and Mr. Mueller is adjacent to it. Spoke to both of them, and I'm not going to quote them because that wouldn't be fair. In a nutshell, these were my bullet points. When that $250 million is gone, it's gone. The Republicans are not going to give any more money to do anything like that. And they're both Republicans, that's per them. The other is, they're aware of everything that's going on there. They don't believe there's anything that the school district in and of itself can do to stop it. We have no clout there. I'll quote one of them. They'll build a 12-foot berm around your school and call it good. They don't care. Whoever may buy the property or erect a business there. So, not saying we don't have a fight, but I don't think we have much of a fight there according to them. Last thing, in our next board meeting or the next one sooner than later. I would like to have some discussion, or maybe we do it in a committee meeting, but I'd like to have some discussion about credit cards and who all has them. To go back in time when Jim was here, Jim had a fit. Carrie will remember this. Jim had a fit when we were going to give out a couple credit cards to building principals. And the other day I was provided with a list, and I think the only one that don't have a credit card is teachers. No, not him. No, Jim Blow. Jim Blow was a PO guy, man. If you didn't get a PO, you didn't get your property. And it kind of all started with athletics. They wanted to order something right away, and they had to go through this lengthy process. And so Jeff Hall and that we all agreed to throw in a couple credit cards. And the other day when I seen the list of them, I thought the whole thing was ridiculous. I think one credit card in the elementary schools in particular should be more than sufficient. And if a building principal is doing that much traveling and needs one, then maybe we should have a travel credit card and they can leave the other one at the school. But I think if the average person looked at that list, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous how many people in this building in this building here has a credit card. You know, you got 3 people and 5 steps from each other that each have a credit card. I'm not really sure why. I can't imagine I'm not going to name names, but I can't imagine how we couldn't just have one credit card to delegate that here in this building. But anyhow, we can talk about that later.
So Ken, might I suggest, and Alyssa, it's your committee, we meet on August 26th, the day before the next board meeting. We have a bond committee, finance, and what else? Operations. So that would be a good place maybe to have the conversation with Jamie and Alyssa present. Do you agree? Okay.
Sure. Yeah, I'll show up and talk to her.
Okay. Anyone else? Comments? Questions?
I'll wait for this.
Yeah, something that I want to bring up is, the topic of school of choice. I would like to bring up a topic of Gaines Elementary. I personally would like to see how much we're spending at Gaines Elementary to see if we're actually spending as much for school of choice like everyone keeps saying. I'm guessing we spend more there than the kids that are here for school of choice. I would like to see those numbers, if that's okay.
Didn't you just do that?
I actually have those numbers that Jamie provided. It was 1.298 million or 1.3 million. They sent me an email. I've asked requests for all the school buildings, and that was 1.39. It was either 1.29 or 1.39. So we'll say 1.3. And there was 92 students there, or 93 students there. Maybe it was a little bit more. I'm going from memory. I have the email. I can forward it to you tomorrow. And it ended up being $14,387 or $14,187 per kid. And so if you take the price that the state gives us, which would be $9,600 per kid, comes out to about $950,000. So we're contributing almost $400,000 according to those numbers for that kid, okay? But if you take the general population, we're paying $14,000 per kid. If you take the gross rate of our annual budget and you divide the kids by it, you still come out to $14,100. In fact, it's funny that you say that because I went to U.S. News the other day, and School Digger and MTA, and they had let me see if I have that here that you asked that number. They came out with almost the same cost depending on how you looked at them. And I've had some people, I think it was Brianna's husband. Did your husband come up? I think Brianna's husband came up and said it. Maybe it wasn't her husband. That said, no federal money. That's right. I'm just going to make a comment. No federal money is used, but all 4 sites that I went to, it's about 6.5%. 29.5%, even including the Jamie's numbers that were on the screen 2 months ago, shows that it comes locally 30%. So if it costs $13,000 to $14,000 per kid, and they're giving us 10 grand,
where does the other 3 to 4 grand come from? 6% from federal, according to every site, and even Jamie's shows 25 to 30% local. So that's about 3 to 4 grand per kid. Times 1,000 kids, 950 kids, that's costing the district almost $4 million a year. It's that simple, it's math. Maybe that's why nobody can figure it out, because of our grade point average. So with that being said, $4,000 per kid at 1,000 kids is $4 million a year. And people have argued with me after I've left the meeting that we would have to pay that anyways, even if that number's right, Melky. You're right, we would have to pay that. And Andrea Fix said she has an expert that can come from the state of Michigan and explain that to me, and I've invited him here. I'll open debate anybody on the money. And nobody's coming, because you can't argue with numbers. And if it's $4 million a year, $3.5 million a year, even take $3 million a year, that is costing us. That $3 million could have been used for bond money. Instead of passing another $40 million bond, we could have spread out a 10-year payment and paid for the last $40 million and saved the taxpayers a whole bunch of money.
Jim, can you remind me what the enrollment is in Gaines this fall? I don't recall the exact number.
At last check, we have 85.
Well, maybe we don't have to build a new school if Morris closed, and we'll just use that school. Then we'll take the $40 million that they're going to give us and do that to pay down the bonds, so we don't have to raise the money to the taxpayers. Or we can renovate all the buildings and put steel roofs on all the buildings. Or we could build a wing on each school and spread the kids out, because we'd actually have more room, because the student count keeps going down. The reason our student count goes up is because we bring in 1,000 kids from other districts. Anybody want to argue those numbers on this board? I see people using their calculators, but the numbers aren't going to lie. And I did have some discussion where some teachers said, well, if you do that, Mr. Melky, I'm not saying I want to do it. The district has to look at it. Fiduciary, then we might have to lay off teachers. And if we lay off teachers, those teachers would go to a district next door, and those kids may go there. It's not that they're going to lose their job. That district then will eat up all that money and let them go bankrupt eventually.
Anything else, Chuck?
Oh, I have a lot more, but that was to Miss Alyssa.
Sure.
With those
Answer.
numbers, can I actually get a document from the school district for that?
Yes, and a presentation.
Thank you.
Well, she's going to get a presentation.
Right.
We can give the whole board a presentation. We can do this at finance and operation. I think you bring up a good point, and we need to address what you're saying.
Yeah, I mean, I asked for the numbers 2 or 3 times, and she came out with about $14,000 per kid. And I think it was 95 kids, if I'm not mistaken. At that time, that was 5 months ago. I don't know what the student count is now. Okay, so let's just say we bring that cost down to $1 million, and you guys want to close Gaines, and there's 90 kids there. So that means we're contributing $100,000 to keep that school open, when we contribute hundreds of thousands to keep other school districts open for the school choice. So we're going to punish our taxpayers for $100 grand if we do close a school. Is that what people are hinting towards? If we close the school, we'll be back in the same predicament as Mary Crapel. Because before I became a board member, they closed down Mary Crapel, and you couldn't reopen Mary Crapel because underneath the American Disabilities Act, you had to spend $4 to $5 million to renovate it for elevators. Because I wanted to really keep the building, although it was old and decrepit, but you had to do elevators, walkways, windows, special HVAC, fire suppression. So that's how that idea come up. So I really don't want to close Gaines, because if we close it, then we're either going to bulldoze it down, or if we reopen it, it's going to cost us $4 to $6 million, because you have to renovate it underneath ADA. And then, who's going to come up with that money? If we do grow our count. I mean, just say, I would rather keep it, and maybe we put our school choice kids down there. Because that'll be an empty building. Okay. All right. Okay, now, to my questions, I was going to answer the people that talk. I want to thank Brianna for talking, Michelle, Jenny Walgast, and Joshua Davis. And I do have a problem because I've sent several Open Meetings Act violations to you, Carrie, because he sent me several Open Meetings Act violations he believes he's had, and I forwarded them to you, and they've not been investigated. So, at some point, we're gonna have to address the person that's complaining about Open Meetings Act violations, and I think you should be able to do that very easily, because I've sent several investigations I think need to be done that you've ignored me on. And you have to take charge of that, Carrie, and do that.
I got
Because
investigated.
you had her investigated last month for saying something to somebody out in the
I want to see
public.
the lawyer bill for that one.
I'm talking.
Oh, yeah.
So that is really mismatched. You're gonna pick and choose whose investigations are gonna be on. That's really inappropriate as board president. I have another question, because I've been reviewing I don't wanna go backwards, but we have all these committees, and I've been trying to review all the Mary Crapel stuff. I'm sorry, I misspoke myself, Morrish Elementary. When did we get the original proposal from them? Does anybody know that on the board?
The day before town hall. Right?
Is that when we got it?
I believe it was June 23rd.
June
It
23rd?
was in a June meeting where they showed up and presented the proposal.
No, but when did we get the actual proposal?
Yeah.
The actual written
Yeah,
proposal.
that one that you gave us the other day.
I believe I emailed that, I think Autumn's correct, the morning of town hall.
Oh, was it? What day was that? July 17th or 16th?
I believe it's July 17th.
17th, okay. Does anybody have anything else to say about that? Any board members get that proposal? Anybody on the board or on the DS here? Dave, did you get it? Did you get it, Jamie? Anybody? I don't know, I'm just asking.
Oh, you were here to answer.
Well, I'm just asking a
No,
question,
no,
it's my
I know,
comment
that's
time.
what-
I'm asking, I'm
Yeah.
confused because I've read some things here, and Jim, yesterday you sent me a nice email, thank you, and Carrie sent me a nice email, saying that they would like to meet with Tyler privately. No, I think you said that, no, so let's not do that, because we can't do it, because we gotta do it in public, right? Is that correct, the sale property?
Yeah, you wanted to establish parameters.
Parameters, yes,
and then-
that's good.
Yeah.
So on June 23rd, okay.
Well, I just got something to say. Okay, so we said Jamie sits up here, Dave sits up here, you sit up here to answer board questions, right? Because this is a board meeting for board business, right?
That's correct.
So when Chuck asks a question, it can go unanswered? That's my question, because I just,
Which question went unanswered?
No, he said that.
did you get it, when did you get it?
I sent it.
Or,
He said, yeah, when did you get it?
When did I get the proposal?
Yeah, I'm trying to figure that out, because
Oh, it
I'm
was-
reading it, and I'm like, I'm confused, because the one that you sent me on the 17th or the 16th says that when he said he was gonna give us 39 million up front at the public meeting, I was reading it, and it says a 20 million
Yes.
payment?
Yeah.
Is that true?
It was,
10 million payment?
it's true that the proposal had it written as escrow, 20 million, and then there were indicators to get the rest.
Right.
But it was all going to be escrow. It just wasn't going to be released. And then he stated at town hall that it was 39 million, and then hold $1 million until we're out of the school. And so that was my recommendation. He said that publicly, hold him to that.
Yeah, and then Carrie said that we gotta hurry up and get on it, because we're gonna use that huge proposal, but I'm reading through it, and we have to meet certain indicators, where it's the 20 million, the 10 million, 5, 4, and if we don't meet them, then he doesn't have to pay us.
hang on, I'm
And so I don't understand that part of it, because he's saying one thing, the contract says something else that I read, that's why I didn't get to see all the school stuff, or our handbooks, although they've been out since June, but I've been kind of contemplating this hard.
I'm still hung up on, when did everybody receive it? Because, yeah, we didn't get it till the 17th or, yeah.
Which
So
was-
when was it first sent to the district? Who from the district received it?
I can get you that, but I don't know when we first received it, and I can get you that exact date, though.
Does Jamie know?
Jamie?
She's here, or does Dave know? Maybe
I
Dave
don't
knows.
have it memorized, what date that I received it, but that information was shared with the board
Immediately
Because-
after, would you say?
No, it was not. It was shared subsequently, and the information was dated. So it has the timeline has been shared and disclosed subsequently when asked.
When asked.
So I don't have it in my head to give you that chronology of events, but certainly,
Well,
had you
it's a
asked me
very
before the
important
meeting,
thing.
I could have brought it to you or answered it in any other time frame, and I can certainly follow up, but you do have it, you have received that information in the email.
When do you think we got the proposal? Does anybody know on this board?
It was, I'm going to say late May or June at best.
And we got it.
All leading up to the presentation that was scheduled at a public board meeting to start the conversation. The document was not final. It was their first draft, if I may use that term. It was a jumping off point. It's not solid. It's not agreed to. It's not binding. It was their first draft.
Regardless, it was sat on. It was withheld. It was not withheld because we got it eventually, months after, but that document wasn't in possession of the board.
I did not make that decision personally.
Then who did?
And you're looking at it as if
Then
it was
who did?
intentional.
sent
I'm
to you.
so sorry. I'm trying not to interrupt you.
Well, I just
but
want a yes or no question. It's like, it requires a straight answer. I don't want to dance around it.
If somebody told you not to send it, who did that?
Nobody said not send it, and it is not my place to send communications to the board without direction. So I would not send it of my own accord. Never was I asked to withhold it or not send it. That inference is insulting. So it is not, there was nothing maniacal about it.
So if the concern is the deadlines or the timelines.
You want to make the
embedded-
deadlines, Carrie, and that's why I'm researching all this.
So I appreciate that, Chuck, but the purpose for the 3 committees that we've organized starting next Friday, the 22nd, the first of which is the sale committee, would be to set the parameters for Mr. Kitchen to then negotiate. And I think we all have in mind to set those timelines so that it corresponds with what is good for the district, as well as other terms. So, what is in the past is in the past.
No, that's not true. No, Carrie, I just discovered some information here that this board has to know, and I'm trying to give people opportunities to figure it out, because maybe I'm wrong. But here's what I have, because somebody slipped some emails to me. May 19th, 2025, Hetherington and Cohen received a purchase agreement with 3 documents on May 19th. On May 28th, that Jennifer Staten, as I said, I'm going to bring up some old bread here, she said that she thought there was a purchase agreement. I looked right at Mr. Rod Hetherington and asked him, and he says, at 1:38, I have no offer whatsoever, and I don't know if they're going to give us one. I've just had some verbal talking to him. Okay? So in their possession, I don't know how, they slipped this in my packet by accident. I have an email that Jamie received it and Rod received it. Why was the board not told about it then? Now I'm rushing around to make a deal for a $40 million building, and I'm in quicksand, and I'm trying to figure it out. And I just found this out after we talked Monday, because I went home to start reviewing all my documents. What's the sense in having a board if they're not going to tell us, because they can't do anything, and obviously somebody negotiated in secret. Then, after the May 28th meeting, June 11th, Rod says he's probably going to get a job, and he quits a couple days after that. June 23rd, this email, I'm going to give to all the board members, is from Thrun Law. And it's sent to Jamie Cohen. It's actually sent to the Board of Education, which I never received it to July 16th. Okay? I got a problem with this. You want to know about trust. So on June 23rd, I received a Thrun Law Firm for the Board of Education. Did you receive that, Carrie?
A lot of emails, Chuck. I don't know that. I don't know.
This would have been a legal opinion on the sale of a $40 million building. And so
let me go back to.
If you got it, I didn't receive it to July 16th. And Thrun says you should not do it because of the stair-step program. Why wasn't it, why didn't I not get, did any other board members get that? I want to know that because I've been kept in the dark. Did you get it, Alyssa? You're shaking your head no. Kim, did you get it? Well, they know. Do you know, Carrie, if you got it? You weren't on the board. Did you
No,
get one?
and I'm looking forward, Chuck.
In July,
We have a
that's the
meeting
first
next
time I
week
got
to
it.
start talking about parameters, which includes the timelines of the renegotiated purchase
And I
agreement.
tried to help you by making those committees on Monday, and then I'm starting to review this stuff at home at 1 o'clock in the morning, and then I've got these freaking emails in here that have been sitting in this administration building and not sent to the Board of Education.
Did you say the one was addressed to the board?
It was addressed to the Board of Education.
You guys never got it?
I never got it. Somebody needs, we need to go into closed session and figure out what's going on. Somebody needs to be disciplined for this. I'm tired of playing tiddlywinks with people and, oh, you gotta hurry up and sign this agreement for $40 million. And I have an email from you and Jim yesterday saying, we gotta hurry up and get on it. Okay, I'm reading everything, and then I start finding these weird emails that weren't addressed to me. They were addressed to administrators in this office and held from me. I don't know if they were held from the rest of you, but they were held from me. This is a big problem on this board with trust.
Chuck, do you agree that the purpose of the meeting that we have scheduled on the 22nd is to reset and discuss the parameters that we as a board are establishing, the cost, the amount that we need to receive from the organization, the other timelines that we would have to meet, and those should be on our terms, and to understand what that means before it goes to the committee that talks about the sale of, or the purchase of land. Do you agree with that? Is that what we agreed on?
We agreed to have, to use what you said, hurry up and do this, and maybe use the template as a template to go through with, trying to work out some type of salvageable deal with here. But what I'm saying is that, Jim, did you know about any of this? You're the deputy superintendent, was superintendent in June.
I didn't get that. I didn't get
Well,
that.
how does nobody get this?
Yeah,
And then I find it by accident, and I'm on a rush to do a $40 million deal. I just want to know, I'm completely miffed, and then nobody knows anything about this. This is the hottest topic in Swartz Creek for the last 12 months. And I get 3 or 4 Monday memos. Oh, I talked to so-and-so, and it's sent to 4,000 people. Oh, I'm speaking, please. And now, here is the Thrun thing. Well, here it is here. It says to the Board of Education. I never received that to July 16th. Nobody wants to see it. I can see that nobody really gives us. I don't know what kind of operation we're running. Can anybody answer? Did anybody get that letter? It's addressed to the Board of Education.
Yes, we did.
Not until July 7th.
I didn't get to July 16th.
Jamie, do you know at what point the purchase agreement was sent to our attorney to review?
But we know what date it came back, so it was obviously before that.
Yeah,
That's when they offered their opinion.
accountability.
I don't know the date off the top of my head.
And I'll go back to my original comments, Chuck, and question. Isn't the purpose of having the committee that starts next Friday?
No, my committee cannot start because it's dishonest, because I've been lied to for the last 60 days. People had documents. They had purchase agreements. I asked our last superintendent right here with everybody present. He looked at me and said, I don't have any offer. I just showed you the offer. And my other 2 deputy superintendents don't know anything, and there's letters addressed to her directly. And even if somebody told her not to do it, that's like me being, which I've been retired now for about 10 years as a policeman, hey, go arrest that guy and beat him up for no reason. I'm not going to do that, Sarge, because that's against the law. You have to disclose documents to this board. I think we got some attorneys around here, but I think they would probably agree with that if it's addressed to the board and it's withheld from the board for whatever reason. I'd like to go into closed session now. I make a motion to go into closed session and take care of this because I want to discuss disciplinary things on employees and public. Is there support for the motion?
I would support it. Support.
Can you cite the exact reason that you would want to go into closed session?
I would like to talk about potentially employee misconduct and discipline, and I'm not going to discuss that in public.
Thank you.
They have to request it. If they don't want to request it, okay, then we'll do it in public. I'm going to start passing documents down.
Chuck, I think it would be prudent if you would do some research and create a timeline of information that you received and what you received.
May 19th, Mr. Heathering and Mr. Cohen receive an email from Alan Drusheris from Plant Moran for a proposal transaction instruction. Attaches the purchase agreement, lease, holdback escrow agreements, and other material on May 19th. They got the emails, I don't. May 28th, Mr. Hetherington denies that there's any offer whatsoever at a board meeting at 138.02 into the meeting. States there is no offer, I have no offer at all. Mr. Hetherington also states that there's been some verbal talking and questioning. On June 2nd, he sends me an email saying to review your board or / that Monday morning coffee talks where there's 3 actual memos over 2 years, which don't really apply to anything. June 11th, Rod notifies the public that he has an interview and he'll be leaving, and there may be a possible deal for $40 million now, and that they're going to come on June 25th, 2025.
Over a month.
June 23rd, 2025, Through Law sends a letter to the Board of Education with the proposed purchase agreement and any amendments that need to be changed or added because they saw a lot of bad things in there. I didn't know about that. June 25th, Tyler shows up here, gives us a song and dance, says he's going to give us $39 million when the addendum say they're going to pay us out in payments only if we meet certain milestones in that agreement. Okay? Jim Kitchen is promoted permanently to interim superintendent. Jim took over, I believe, Jim, on June the 14th or 15th. Rod left officially.
It was later.
17th, maybe?
You couldn't do it until Rod was finished, I believe.
No, well, he was gone, though. You were acting superintendent while he was gone.
Yeah.
That's the way it works. July 17th, we have a town hall meeting. I received this information in my email. And the only reason I received it is because here are the requested items that somebody asked for as a summary update to the items related to the proposed purchase. So I got the night of the town hall meeting because somebody else requested them. I wouldn't even got them that day. And I don't know who that was because this email is from you, Jim. Yeah, I'm not, there it is. So there's my information. What more do you want? Somebody's not telling the board the whole truth here.
I want an answer to the question that I posed initially. Does this mean that
We scrap everything.
You
We
don't-
start all over.
I thought that was the purpose of having our meeting next Friday.
We're not going to have the templates, and you want to hurry it up. And we have certain administrators that withheld information from this Board of Education. How do you get around that first? I can't negotiate with people when I don't know who's behind me, backing me up.
I don't know that you can make those accusations without having all of the information. You don't know all the information if you haven't asked the administrators to confirm what it is that they had in their possession or not, what was sent to our attorneys for review and comment.
It's right there. What more do you want?
I want an answer to whether we're having the sale meeting, the sale of the building meeting next Friday.
I'll ask the rest of the board what they want to do. How do you guys feel about this?
I feel like, I don't want any administrators involved at this point. That's how I feel. This is a board decision. That way, all the information is presented to us at the time that it's given.
Is somebody texting you?
I have serious
Vice Gary?
trust
I see you
issues.
picked up your phone and you're looking at it.
No, I'm looking at what's underneath my phone.
Okay, yeah, okay. You do that.
Do you want to see?
I only have one comment
What's on
on
my
this.
phone right now?
I only have one comment on this is, to me, there's two very important dates here that he mentioned, was May 19th. A proposal, or whatever you would like to call it, was sent to the district, to Rod and Jamie, if I'm understanding that correct?
Yes.
Correct me if I'm wrong.
No, I found.
It was never sent to the board provided to the board, and Rod was never granted the authority to even negotiate anything by the board. And that's clear in our bylaws. The other date that I caught that was magical was the return response from the law firm saying this wasn't the greatest idea. So the only date we really don't have is the date that somebody here sent it to the law firm. So
Somebody had to send it to them.
who was the sender and what day did they send it? And my guess is if it's already got returned, okay.
It's part of the email thread that I shared.
Later. Way later.
Hang on, time out. It was May 19th, and it was returned by the law firm roughly a month later. When did somebody in this building send it, and who gave them the authority to send it? I mean, we can all blame Rod, because God love him, he ain't sitting here. He's a pretty good scapegoat if we need one, or if you guys need one, I don't need one. But the bottom line is, who did it? And then when that came back, it was addressed to you and the board.
It was addressed to the board, then her.
Okay, whichever way you want to put it. But it was addressed to the board. It wasn't addressed to you, it wasn't addressed to Jim, it wasn't addressed to Rod, and the board never received it. So an email from our law firm that represents the board was withheld from the board. And the board never asked him to send it to Trune to begin with.
Right.
So, what
That's my
are
problem,
we
starting
doing?
negotiations with people when I don't even know what's going on in my own backyard. Sorry, Ken.
You know, because to me, there's only two magical dates. Maybe you like more than that, but I like two of them. And the third one, I'd like to know. I'd like to know who the sender was and the date it was sent.
She's raising her hand over there.
And who ordered it to be sent.
Jamie.
Well, she said something about a thread later. So maybe she did send it. But again, she also just sat here and said that I don't do anything without the board approval or my supervisor's approval. So she didn't send it. She maybe got told to send it. But who told her to send it? Or did she even send it? Because remember, it came back to her and Rod. But
She said that she was told not to tell us, I think.
I'm sorry, Chuck, I didn't hear that last statement, but it didn't sound accurate.
Okay,
So could you repeat it?
What's the accurate, were you told not to send?
I was never told to not send anything, to hold anything, to hide anything, or anything of that nature. On Ken's points, and you had several questions, so if I miss it, please repeat. I was directed to send the document to Trune for review.
by who and when?
By Rod. I can't give you a specific date, but knowing how I respond, I would say it was within 24 hours. So it was probably the same day or the very next day. I honor the same requests given to me by the board when I'm giving a request. I handle it. I want to add that I routinely send documents to Trune, the attorneys, for review. The request specifically, and I believe the email thread has been shared, was, can you review this document and give us an executive summary in preparation for the planned board meeting on the 25th? I also want to add, I'm sorry, thank you for the time. I also want to add that I am not privy to communication back and forth between the superintendent and the board. So I don't know what you were shared with, what you weren't shared with. I don't know that almost on any given day unless it is also shared with me. For example, the monthly board reports, those are shared with me. A lot of communication back and forth, I'm not privy to that.
Okay, that's not the topic. The topic is an email was returned back to you, to the board and you.
Where does it say that you can email the attorney on the board's behalf? Is that a thing?
She was told.
By the board?
No.
Because isn't that the board's attorney? I'm confused.
I routinely, in my position, send documents to Trune Legal. I do not need board approval to communicate with the attorney. Do you understand? There's normal daily business that happens with the attorney that I do to conduct business. So it was never a thought in my mind that this would cause a disconnect or confuse the situation. There was no indication in my mind's eye at any time that anything was being withheld or anything of that nature. There was a planned share, and the executive summary that was requested was to accompany that share.
My disconnect comes real simple with this. And we can't use this as an example because every time we send an email, if hypothetically, if it would have came to you and Rod would have been CC'd on it or something, but let's say that he wasn't. But in the narrative, as that said, it said the board. Let's say it said Rod. Would you have not sent him a copy of it? Because the email was sent to the board and to you. And they didn't send it to every particular board member here. The 7 people that were here at the time did not get it. So you should have forwarded that to the board.
We don't know that. Did you receive it, Carrie? As president? What about you, Jim? Did you receive it?
No, I stated I didn't, but.
I forwarded the
You're the
response to Rod
superintendent.
because Rod asked for the information.
Yeah, I'm the superintendent. I am Jamie's supervisor. Tell me the questions that you'd like to get answered, and I will investigate it.
On the 3rd or 5th, I don't want to screw it up. The letter from Troon. That's the one that's most disturbing to me because it's addressed to the board.
That was on June 23rd.
Okay. So I guess the question is this, then when did,
The board received it on the 16th or 17th, according to Jim, and my records, now that I reviewed it last night, say that only after request from a board member. So we weren't even gonna get that to one of the, I don't know, so when were we gonna get it? And now they want me to negotiate with Thrun, and I don't even know what's, if I can't get stuff from my administration office to negotiate a contract, I don't know. I was all feeling good Monday night. Let's get this going. But now I'm reviewing this, and I bring it up because I have a duty to bring it up. Here it is. I don't get it. And they had this for a month, 2 months before I received it. And I want to know what other board member got it. Because if a board member got it, they should have shared it with the rest of us. And if Jim was in on the 15th, you did most of these meetings with Rod, Jim. You didn't know any of this?
My focus was Mary Crapo. It always has been. That's the meetings that I went to so that he could focus on these things. So I was involved in some meetings, yes, but there was everything that Rod stated in his memo about communications with the board. I witnessed all that. When you talked about that document that went out to families, that went out to the Swartz Creek. So everybody has a Swartz Creek email, received that in their email. So yeah, I can research this, but I don't have the information that you're looking for. As soon as I had the town hall, I scheduled the town hall, I sent the proposal so you could have it. Tried to do everything quickly.
But you're in Rod's office next door. When he got that proposal for $40 million on May 19th, he didn't tell you, hey, we just got an offer for $40 million? I can't believe that.
No, there was conversations that were taking place that I can't piece things together for you. I was not involved in all this.
You filled that office?
I just want somebody to tell me the truth.
His documents weren't sent to you.
Because I've had all this stuff kept from me.
So Chuck, can we go back to the meeting on the 22nd at 2:00 in the afternoon? I think it's Alyssa, myself, and you are going to be the committee members with it being a committee of the whole. Are we saying that there's not value in having that conversation?
No, I think.
We agreed that we were going to charge Jim with doing the negotiations and reset, and we needed to determine the parameters by which we charge him to do the negotiations. The communication that he had with us earlier, maybe yesterday, was regarding whether we should have the meeting with or without anyone from the outside.
Which is illegal.
Excuse me.
We've been through that.
Excuse me. No, it's a meeting of the whole. It's a meeting
Without anyone from the
whole.
outside doesn't sound like
If somebody
It's an
from,
open
if
meeting.
if somebody from Tyler's business wants to come here, they can show up
Right,
for that meeting. Do you agree,
absolutely.
Chuck? Do you agree?
Yeah,
I
I'm not disagreeing with
We
you.
weren't inviting,
that.
we
There was-
weren't inviting anyone.
I agree with that, Karen.
Yes.
There was
There
a
was-
short thing in there that Jim, and he may not have meant this, but said, I want to meet with, I think you said you want to meet with Tyler private ahead of time. And I said that would probably not be a good idea because that's you'd be talking about sale of a building. We have to do that in public
Yeah.
for transparency.
Yeah, I wanted clarification, that's what I sent. If you wanted, would we be coming together with parameters, and then I would in private be, but you clarified that we would have.
Yes, I did in my email. I just wanted to keep us out of trouble.
Right, and so that discussion has taken place. There was also comment
Okay, what about the documents? Okay, I'll meet with you on Friday, but what about
Okay.
this stuff? I can't be underneath the timeline to hurry up and do this with the template, and people have been sitting on the template for 2 months. And I got it 3 weeks ago.
So Chuck, I appreciate your research, I appreciate your comments. We can't change the past. What we have to focus on
But we
is,
can-
what are we going to do going forward and how?
Accountability.
We can continue to sit here and place blame all night long. That's not going to take us to where we need to
Accountability.
get.
What's the board want to do? You guys want to still have the meeting on the next Friday? Alyssa's on that committee.
Yes, I do.
I still think somebody should be held accountable.
Well,
It doesn't make, yeah,
It's like people don't give us stuff and no one's held accountable.
right.
So-
I
so
think
with
that's
our-
another conversation.
I just have
No,
one thing that
I don't.
is
Well, that's why I'm bringing it up at board comment. I didn't want to bring it up. The one lady said I scare all the teachers already because I talk too loud. And, you know, I talk loud all the time. And now, I didn't even want them to hear this. That's why I kept it instead of supervisors' comments. You know what I mean? When I was going to question Jim in it, I didn't want to subject them to all this. That's why I kept it for at the end of our meeting. And I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I'm bringing it up, but you kind of want to like just forget about it. We'll talk about it later. I don't think it'll ever be talked about.
Nobody said they wanted to forget about it. We need to know whether we're going forward or not.
I said yes.
Okay. Ken, you had some comments.
There's a motion on the floor to go into closed session that we can't forget to address.
Yes,
The other is, in this comment, I'm just repeating what was just said, so if there's any union people from the MEA here, in reference to accountability, what's already happened has happened, it's in the past. So don't discipline anybody for anything that's in the past. There are people at this table that I think should at least, at a minimum, be forthcoming and apologetic for withholding information that was sent by our law firm to the board that the board never got in a timely manner. It was only given to them when it was requested. And if nobody can put their hand up for that, that's a problem. That is a real problem. You know, how many times you drag a kid in the office, hey, you know, you gotta come clean, man. Well, we got some people that need to come clean. Stuff got delivered here on May 19th, nobody got told about it. Stuff got delivered here on May, whatever, or, I'm sorry, June 23rd or 5th, whatever, which one it is. It was never given to us. That's a problem.
Ken?
And I shouldn't say us, because I wasn't here. I'm
Ken?
speaking figuratively.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt you.
Go ahead.
But just answering your question very plainly, again, I've already shared, as you all have seen, I had the communication with Troon under the guidance of my superior, which was the superintendent of schools. When I got the response, I returned that, forwarded it to Rod.
No, Rod wasn't here on June 23rd. That's a bold-faced lie.
Rob was still superintendent on June 23rd.
He wasn't here. He left his time. He was burning this time. He was already doing what he needed to do. You were acting superintendent. You weren't interim. You were acting superintendent.
My first time at a meeting was June 28th, and I was deputy filling in for Rod. You had not put me in as
I know that, but he was not here on the 23rd, Jim.
He was superintendent, that's what I'm saying.
He was not here, though.
When the deputy chief is there and the chief's gone, the deputy chief's in charge.
Voted him to be,
Well, we voted for him actually interim
wasn't
on
he
it.
acting, wasn't that part of the?
That was part of the deal, yeah.
Yeah.
It was.
That
and
you
that-
were acting.
Didn't that take place on the 28th, if I remember correctly?
So what
But that's when
supervisor
we
did you talk
voted you
to,
as
Jamie?
interim superintendent.
So that means Rod.
There's only Rod,
on the
there's only
23rd.
Rod,
It was
and there's only Jim. Who
discussed
did you,
that
who'd you
were
report it
acting
to?
Superintendent.
It's a direct question, direct answer.
Rod. And I would like to have the opportunity to look back at
Then-
my email, which I do not have the luxury of doing that right now, partly because my phone is dead.
Which is why I should be investigating this. I am your
Or-
employee.
or the
If you're gonna go
lawyers.
if you're gonna go into closed session, you should be talking about discipline me, not another employee. So I think.
I didn't say
allow
who
me to-
was gonna discipline.
Well, you wanted to go into closed session because of discipline. So I think,
Give you the option, yeah. I think we should have a third-party attorney do it, not
Yeah.
through them, because they're involved. We can't have all the perpetrators investigating themselves or possible perpetrators. You can't do it.
No,
That doesn't make no sense.
not at this.
You're implying, Chuck, that anything that transpired was done with ill will in mind, and I don't believe that's the case.
Okay.
That's not true at all.
Yes.
When, you know, as an example, a particular prosecutor just sent something to the AG's office for the very simple fact that there's a relative in the office. It's not whether you're gonna do something or someone did do something. If you want something to look like it's a non-biased investigation, you can't have the people that could have been or are involved in it investigate themselves. That would be like your kid took the last cookie out of the cookie jar. You're gonna go, Billy, can you investigate that for me? So you can figure out who took that last cookie. It's a mystery.
I'll give you a real quick example of it. I worked in internal affairs for 10 years, and we had the mission team. It's 83 sheriff's departments, and we never investigated ourselves. We went from one county to another because they knew it was very political. And what would happen is, if Ingham County had a shooting, they'd send somebody from Genesee County over to do it because it was non-biased. If you got your own people investigating it, it's biased. So you want Jim to investigate it. No, I'm not even gonna buy into that. And that's nothing against Jim, I'm not gonna do it.
It's not. It's like it has the appearance of being biased.
It does, it does. And then if I didn't get all this stuff that I just happened to stumble over Monday night and Tuesday night, then I wouldn't even know this stuff. And that's what's angered me, that this stuff was withheld from me.
Yeah.
Let's address your motion. Are you gonna withdraw it or are we gonna vote?
I'll withdraw my motion and go into closed session.
All right, anyone else have any comments before we close?
No, well, then we have a motion, no, I'm gonna make a motion that we have an attorney investigate what's occurred here. And I don't want Thrun to do it. In fact, I'll make a motion to get rid of Thrun, as far as I'm concerned. We need to do that right now.
They are the provider of our policies, Chuck, and they are.
You know what?
board
It's so
attorney.
good that you said that. You know why? Because we're the only district that uses it. I did a little research on that when we had the big blow-up over appointing members. And Thrun is this, and MSB is this. So I went online and I looked at every school district in Genesee County, including GISD, who's our parent. Guess who used Thrun out of the entire county? Anybody want to take a guess?
Zero?
Swartz Creek. Everybody else uses Neola for their policies and procedures, every district.
Chuck, I've been doing this for a long time. Neola's policies are not always as comprehensive as Trun's have been. And I know, Dave, you're new to the policy management, but the process, the simplicity, and the
And the fact-
updates have been remarkably
We're getting
more
off subject.
positive. But I'm clarifying for you, Chuck, that moving from Neola to Trun has been a positive in terms of what we actually get for the money that we spend.
And at the ISD retreat on Monday, they were leaning toward going back to Trun for policy.
Okay.
So there will be a bigger
And
push for that.
Neola's very, yeah, but unfortunately, they had a policy on how we vote for new board members. We had that big discussion a couple months ago on how to vote for it. We didn't have any policy and
And we
procedure.
still don't have Robert's rules, and so we gotta
But that's neither here nor there, we're getting
That
off
every
subject,
time,
we're getting
yeah.
in the weeds.
Yeah, so let's do some motions.
Are you done with your comments, Chuck?
Well, did you get
Yes,
a
if the board
motion?
doesn't want to do anything about this, then that's fine.
do.
That's really sad.
You want to restate your comment, your motion?
Make a motion that we have an independent investigator come in and figure out then who's got what documents, because Jim wants to do it, but Jim's potentially, in his position, could be involved.
But volunteering to do it is admitting that there's a problem.
No, that's not right, that's my motion. If somebody wants to back it, they can. I don't know what attorney we'd hire, because I'm not gonna hire through him.
Their support?
Yeah, I'll support it.
Comments or questions? Nikki, can you do a roll call, please?
Autumn Henry,
Yes.
Melissa Bouchard,
No.
Ken Engel,
Yes.
Chuck Melkey,
Yes.
Kim Winter,
Yes.
Carrie Germain,
No.
3 yeses.
Motion passes. So I'll ask you one more time, Chuck, are we going to meet next Friday or not?
Yes.
Okay. All right, anybody else have any comments or questions?
What attorney are we gonna agree on?
Well, since you suggested it, do you know of any? Or Autumn, do you? Because you seem to be an attorney.
That was rude.
Well, you are, so it's fine. I'm just asking a question.
No, that was rude.
Good.
Good?
You've been that way to everyone.
I'm
Ken,
not
do you have any
hearing any.
suggestions on an independent attorney? Yeah.
Criminal labor, or, yeah, I don't know. I mean, Tom Pat's went off, they do labor stuff. It's either coming out mine, maybe off the price of that. Jonas.
Shouldn't our president figure this out?
I have an attorney sitting right here in the front row.
You can't talk.
He's on a retainer also.
Okay.
Eric Delaport.
I don't think we're going to solve that tonight. We can sit here and name people all night long. I think that's a separate conversation and one that we can have follow-up conversations about. You agree, Chuck?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Kim, did you have something?
Yeah, I just wanted to say, this is off topic, but I think I'm making just a suggestion for the board members. I don't know who did this, if anybody did this at all, but we probably need to not be texting each other board members during a meeting, because it doesn't look good to the public, and we don't, if you're doing board business with another board member during the meeting, it should not be happening. It's just a suggestion for everybody, because we get, every time somebody seems to do it, we're called out on it, and we don't look good, you know?
Who was texting?
I don't know, I just said if anybody is or was, we probably shouldn't do it. We probably shouldn't be texting each other about board stuff during a meeting. Yeah.
Thanks, Kim.
I did observe that gentleman arguing with you two. I didn't know the extent of the conversation, but I did see Andrea taping you guys, and I did see something get torn up. I don't know what it was. I don't know if that needs to be looked into, if that was, I don't know what it was. I just saw something get torn up in a conversation that was pretty heated between Josh, you, and I don't think Andrea was really involved in it. She was more of a spectator here after the meeting. So I think that needs to be investigated if anything was destroyed. I don't know if it was or not, but that's a valid point. We don't police ourselves, and I'm gonna start doing it if we're not gonna do it. You police me too. If I do something wrong, call me out on it.
And you need to know all of the details.
I don't know the details. I
No,
told
you
you, I
don't.
just said, I
know.
heard you guys arguing, I saw some papers ripped up.
Talking about
And it was, somebody was talking about minutes, and I was talking to a couple of ladies on this side of the bench. Thank you.
All right.
That's it.
I'd like us to close on a positive note. I
Yes.
want to sincerely thank the folks that were here tonight that we welcomed into our school community. It's amazing to see all of those folks. We have some special ed folks. Derek, thank you for coming back to Swartz Creek. We look forward to working with you and the teachers and the SLPs that were hired tonight. And I know I mentioned it earlier, but it's really hard to find special ed teachers and SLPs that want to work in a school district. So congratulations to those of you who interviewed the folks, who encouraged them to become part of our school community. And with that, I would entertain a motion for
So moved.
adjournment. Support? Any comments or questions?
I know this is not appropriate, but from my perspective, you can't start meetings when there's an active investigation. I can't talk?
No.
Okay, sorry.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? We are adjourned.
Oh,